The apocalypse is coming. Are you scared? Are you prepared? The masses are running, frantically running from their fears, running with their tears, running from their lives, running from that dark shadowed creature that hides deep inside.
And it was the 4th of July, but what are we actually celebrating? According to this hat, 250th anniversary of the USA. Got this from the Yankees. And yeah, I'm selling it. I should sell it for $250. Fuck out of here. All right. Real quick, just want to mention 100 Bullets, new issue. If you haven't got it, most of you people, this book is over 20 years old. I just read it. I'm going to go into it with Miguel in a few seconds. But if you never heard of 100 Bullets, First Shot, Last Call, this was a great series. This is like the only book I read for 10 years when I had stopped reading comic books in the 90s because Death of Superman and all that was like, comics suck. But 100 Bullets came along and that was the shit. And now they're back. So I'm going to talk about that with Miguel in a little bit. Without further ado, let's bring in Miguel. Morning, man. How you feeling?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Are you feeling very patriotic today?
Never. Shit, I forgot to watch Dr. Strangelove. That's my go-to movie for July 4th, by the way.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of like what was that? Like the Christmas movie everyone watches, the Miracle, not Miracle on 34th Street. Well, they do watch that. But
There's that one, Christmas Carol.
I watched the suicide one. What's that one called? It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah.
It's most people forget that it's about a guy who commits suicide and then sees the world without him, which if you think about it, is not the movie Flashpoint, but the comic book. It just hit me just now, the comic book Flashpoint is when Flash goes back to the world and he never became the Flash or something like that. Nobody knows who he is, like he's erased from time or something. Some crap like that.
Kind of like what they're doing with Spider-Man now.
Yes, like Spider-Man. That's like A Wonderful Life. Look at that.
It's a Wonderful Life. There you go.
I totally, Brand New Day is basically It's a Wonderful Life. But
Peter Parker.
Yeah, instead of an angel showing him his way, in the comic books, it was Mephisto. I don't think they're going that route in the movies. But
No. We're too religious. I think that's the reason Spawn didn't do quite as good as it should have. Because I think it had too much demons and shit. Yeah.
He should have threw the mob in there and go with the tropes. He would have been more successful.
Although, the reason I was a huge Spawn fan. I still like Spawn, but not close to the way I used to like it. The whole idea of heaven and hell being at war. Right. I love that he actually had the balls to jump into something so crazy like that, considering that our country is so religiously nuts about that stuff.
Again, yeah.
We're freaking out over sinners. Oh no. It's got
is the movie itself I really didn't care for, but what really grabbed me was that fucking timeline of history in that dancing room. And you know what was wild? It's not the first one to do it. They're giving credit to this movie. Beautiful movie. Ryan Coogler directed that, right? Great movie.
Yeah, he did an excellent job.
I mean, it hits you on so many levels. I would say he's like the Shakespeare of movie directors, because Shakespeare always just hits you on all these multiple different levels in one sitting. But he's not the first to do it. There was a movie called, a TV show called Vinyl. That was fucking great. And they did it first.
Well, you never know. He might have been inspired.
If you have HBO Max, they did it first. And it was like it was about a music company in the 70s, but it goes all the way back to the blues. It's about this record guy, this Italian guy who's talent is to spot talent, right? And it goes through literally like his beginnings when he first started in the 50s all the way into the 70s. And then it got canceled. It was supposed to continue. And I forgot the name of the actor who did that, but I'll dig it up later. But yeah, that's where Kugler probably got it from, because it was verbatim almost. But
Oh,
was,
you'd be amazed how many of those things are borrowed.
yeah.
Although I thought it was interesting that he also brought in the African side.
Oh yeah,
And then he also slid in the Chinese.
yes.
If you pay attention when you're watching, you'll see that as the Chinese American characters are walking by, walking around them are their ancestors too.
Yes.
So he did a very clever job.
There is a lot of there was like an African tribe that was in China, and there was and then Attila the Hun was supposedly like had some African roots too, right? So
Well, it's one gigantic landmass, so
yeah,
there isn't anything that breaks Europe from Asia. That's why it's fucking Eurasia, even though Europeans are like, oh my God, we're a European continent. No, you're not. And there's only like two little tiny breaks that separate Africa from
right.
Eurasia. So
Right.
yeah, I, as a kid, I'll tell you this much. As a kid, knowing that I was born in a place, and this is something that's not talked about too much, right?
Right.
I was born in a place that the French used to say, Africa begins at the Pyrenees. In other words, Spain and Portugal are Africa.
Right.
And then knowing that there's only like 8 miles of water between Spain and Africa,
Right.
I always thought it was fucking weird when I moved to North America. And everyone's like, yeah, Africa, Europe. Like they're so far away. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like there.
Yeah. You can like spit into the other one. Like,
dude, you can see it. It literally takes.
Yeah, I mean, when I went to France for a layover, everybody was going into Senegal for like the vacation spot. That was like their Mexico, right? It's like
well,
it's like that.
Granted, what did you come?
That was 2010.
2010. Okay, so yeah, I don't think there was direct flights from the United States to or anywhere to Africa. How it's been for years, you had to go to Paris.
Yeah, I went to Paris first.
And then you go to Africa.
Yeah, I went to Paris, 13-hour layover, got hit by like a legendary snowstorm, they were saying. And then fucking I thought I was stuck in Paris. I didn't think I was gonna make it to Senegal. But they took off in the runway and it was like over a foot of snow on the runway. And I was like, these people were crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you
this.
And this is the thing that pisses me off when they talk about like immigrants and all this shit here. Senegal and France have had a relationship I can't call it a relationship.
Yeah.
That's just being too kind. For the sake of what it is. They've been interacting with each other for 357 years.
Right.
So they're not immigrants. It's fucking family at this point. And they had Algeria for like I think like 150 or 160 years. Wow. So when they complain about Algerians, it's like, dude, you were in their country.
Right.
So what the fuck are you talking about when they come over here? You know,
I mean, where are we getting our resources from? Hello.
Exactly.
It's just bullshit. Whenever they start talking about other countries, it's like, wait a minute. Diamonds, gold.
Well, it's just
every mineral for every technology that we have, right?
God.
You got the cobalt, they got the fucking what are they using for the fucking electric cars?
Lithium.
Lithium. I mean, come on now.
It's either Africa or Latin America that they're gonna pull in.
Yeah,
but it's one of the two.
Right. Give me a break. Yeah. So
and that's the other crazy thing is that the World Cup's on now. So
the World Cup.
They're getting.
Who's your team?
France has been getting this shit for fucking decades. Are they really French? It's like, with the exception of one player or maybe two on the team, who one was born in England, but he's black. Right? He's black English. There's another one I think he was born in Africa, but everyone's born here. They're first or second generation. And the old Paraguayan goalie, because Paraguay and France played yesterday, which was Oh, that was a fucking mess, but it was just like there should have been a lot more yellow cards. I'll leave it there. But
Was that the one where the guy kicked him in the shin and then stole the ball and then they didn't even call a card on them?
there's been a whole bunch of
Uh,
shit. Like,
I
yeah.
haven't been following the games. I mean, it's like I'm not a big sports person like I used to be.
Hmm.
But I did see the Iran game. I thought that was interesting. Egypt, and who else? My son's the one that keeps me watching these things. Like he wants to go to a bar today to watch something. I'm just like, I'm tired.
Yeah, no, I do
But,
it every 4 years or every 2 years. So it's the Euro Cup and World Cup. But this one was particularly hilarious to me because an ex-Paraguayan goalie said, "Oh, back in 1998, when we faced off against France in the World Cup, which is the one that they won, they were all French." And I'm like, rewind. I remember 1998. I remember that team, and they were mostly like black players and Algerian players, and everyone was saying it was an African team. So either he's got dementia, but they've been saying this shit about the team. But you look at all the teams.
right,
Switzerland's team has a lot of black players. Spain's team has black players.
right,
Even fucking Japan has a black player, the goalie. Like,
right.
can we just stop this shit?
Yeah, cut the shit out.
Cut the shit out.
It's funny how we just keep, as a species, as a singular species. It's funny how much we focus on race, but we don't attribute that to other things. Like a dog. We talk about breeds, right? But they're all dogs. They're not different races of dogs. With birds, oh, we got different, types of birds.
It's because some of us skipped science class.
Right, right. It's
Yeah, like
ants. Right? There's different types of ants. We don't say, hey, there's a race. This is the black race ant, and then we got the red race ants, and then there's these gold race ants, and those are the superior ones.
it's
These
true.
black ants are like a problem. They're everywhere. They're eating your house.
Yeah, no, man.
It's stupid.
It's just wild though. Like,
It's
and the
stupid.
crazy thing is, Argentina has grown to be the villain of this tournament
Wow.
because a lot of people are saying that Argentina is getting a lot of favorable calls. I'll leave it up to people to decide that, particularly because of Messi. He's the big guy, and that FIFA wants to get him to the last game so he can win it one more time.
Right.
And they went up against a tiny team from Africa, a little island called Cabo Verde.
Cabo Verde. Yes.
500,000 people or something there. And big old Argentina ended up basically almost getting its ass kicked. It was like 3-2. And the only reason they got the third goal in was because of a penalty, which was controversial on its own night.
Right.
But Argentinians are also extremely racist. And not saying all Argentinians, but the fans have been doing some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the team has done some stuff in the past. And then they get very sore when they get called out for it and say, "Why are you looking at us? The French are the real racists." And I'm like, you can both be racists,
Right.
right? It's not one or the other. But yeah, that's where we are with the cup. So it's like the racist cup now. You have an ex-German player saying that the African teams play savagely. They don't know any tactics. And I'm like, dude, am I gonna have to roll out the German stereotypes? Like, you guys play like fucking robots and make the game seem boring.
Exactly.
So, anyway, so there you go. That's my sports fever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was mentioned earlier, I was looking at this issue of 100 Bullets, and it's called "The U.S. of Anger," and it kind of starts off. It's interesting. This was like Have you looked at the original book?
And they put a black dude on the front of it.
No, he's a white dude.
He's a white dude. Okay.
So this is the original one. It was in full color, flat colors. It has like this Frank Miller feel to it.
Right. Heavy black.
Yeah, I think he's better than Frank Miller, to be honest. This is Eduardo Rizzo. Maybe if I'm, but this is the original one from the 90s. No, he's not black. He's a white guy. He was actually like one of the assassins, and you see he has like that whole like hand on his thing there with
Oh, I get it. I see his hair straight.
the snake
Not that
eating.
that means anything, but yeah.
But what's interesting is that they didn't even bother coloring this issue. It's just straight black and white, but then the text is color. And I was like, is this like a special edition? Is there like an alternate color version? But no, it was just black and white with color.
Neat.
So it opens up with the Black Lives Matter protests, but then it doesn't really focus on the protests. It's focused on the rioters, So it's, again, typical America, we're not going to talk about the issues. We're going to talk about that. But it was very clever the way he did it, because the guy on the cover was basically this guy who you thought died in the series. And then he goes into podcasting, because remember in the 90s, there was no such thing as podcasting, right? We had talk radio, but we didn't have podcasting. So it's like a white supremacist podcast, which starts going into, and then you got these sub stories. So right off the bat, he's giving you like these, introducing the characters on every single page, which is pretty fast for a comic book to like he just cuts in like, I can't think of the movie director at the moment, but there's a director who does that really swell. And then you get the cops, like a Latina cop, and then this white guy, and the white guy is obviously very racist the way he talks, and bigoted. And then the Spanish cop, she kind of just tolerates it, and then they all kind of interact. So he did this very quickly. So in his books, he would always do that. I would liken it to like an indie film. Indie films always establish these different stories, the plot, the subplot, and then the sub to the subplot. And then at the end of the movie, they all merge, and then they all interact. He literally is so good. This writer, Brian Azzarello, he is so fucking good at it. Like he's mastered it. Like he actually did it in 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. At page 14, what used to take him like a few issues to happen, he just did it in 14 pages.
Wow.
Like masterful storytelling. And then everyone just starts getting killed, like like Reservoir Dogs. Then he introduces another character, so it's almost like a vignette of where we're going. But it just keeps going on into about where we're going as a country, where we've been as a country,
where we are.
Yeah, and where we are, and like the violence, the negativity, and then it just ends with, let's get it started. Sorry, spoiler alert. So who's this shadowed person with the little thing? And if, we talked about the families that rule the world. This is basically the original premise of the book back in the day was there's an injustice. The character feels like upset. And some dude comes out with a suitcase with photos of the person who did you wrong. The person that you thought did you wrong was not the main person behind it. They gave you a suitcase with 100 bullets and a gun that was clean. Can't be traced. And the photos of the people and the backgrounds, where to find them. So basically, it was almost like some organization was basically turning regular civilians into hitmen. Or like lone nuts, like
sounds familiar. MK Ultra.
The Ultra, yes. Which I don't know if you saw my post about the MK Ultra trials that we're having now.
Oh no, I didn't. But I've been kind of like dipping in and out of it. Although a lot of the stuff that they were saying could actually, and this is my thing. This is my conspiracy theory. That AI is part of it.
Oh yeah,
sure. The whole psychosis that people get. Like there's that one guy that killed his wife.
Yep. The cell phone we scroll, it's like video film.
And they get to collect all the data. So all the data now, they know, okay, these are the kind of prompts and questions people are going to be asking. And this is probably the type of personality we'd be able to push over the edge.
Yeah. And how YouTube kind of puts you in a rabbit hole. If you look at one negative thing, it kind of encourages you to keep the algorithm. There was a Netflix documentary on that. So supposedly, this guy here that everyone knows, right? This guy was the fear of America and the end of the the free love movement. This guy here,
MK Ultra.
MK Ultra, and a CIA asset. It was always rumored for decades since before the internet. It
You
is
know
now,
who else?
you know, lots.
Oswald.
Oswald.
When he was young, one of his medical therapists was
Mhm.
actually part of MK Ultra.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And Jack Ruby was as well.
Yep.
You know, we spoke to Danny Fingeroth about his book. I don't think he touched on that. He focused more on the rabbi and the conversations and stuff. But yeah, he also was part of that and actually the guy that declared Jack Ruby insane was the same doctor that declared him insane, and was also like a hypnotist. So they seemed okay before he met up with them, which was not appointed. He basically independently visited them in prison without any actual jurisdiction, but they let him in.
Yeah.
He was a government informant. That was Jolly Roger, guy they called Jolly Roger. And he actually, these guys started acting like complete psychopaths, incoherent, like not making sense, after one session.
Yep.
That guy was like so yeah.
Well, a lot of it ties back to Alan Dulles.
Alan Dulles, yeah.
But what people don't know is that
Mhm.
Alan Dulles just didn't approve of this project, but he was very interested in it. If you're reading The Devil's Chessboard, I'm sure you got to the part where he's in Bern, Switzerland, and his mistress and his wife are being take therapy lessons with Carl Jung.
Oh no, I haven't read that.
Yeah, no.
Part yet.
And then actually, Carl Jung had an OSS number. He never met Dulles, but Dulles was always very interested in what his wife and his mistress. And by the way, his wife and mistress knew each other, and they were like, this is one of those weird relationships. Then they'll cut Muslims for having more than one wife. But anyway, right.
Like Charles, what's his name? The guy who did Wonder Woman also had.
Yeah. I've been reading about him too. I'm like, you guys say shit about
Marston. Yeah. Movie was interesting, but apparently the family was upset about it. But
that they brought that up.
Well, I think the way they portrayed it, they tried to make it seem like their mothers were lesbians, and that wasn't the case. Apparently,
I think it sounded very fluid to me. In many ways.
Like who cares? But he died very early, right? He died at 45. So
he died at 45. Jesus.
Yeah.
But here's the interesting thing. MK Ultra ties back to some experiments that both the Japanese and the Nazis were doing. So it doesn't even start with us. It actually makes sense because a lot of
that's rescuing Nazi scientists. World War II, our rescue mission of Nazis. That's what I call it.
Oh yeah.
Why else were we there other than to steal a bunch of talent for NASA and other things?
I don't know if it was necessarily calling it stealing. I think it was a return on investment.
Oh yeah,
because they were actually funding that shit.
Right. And then Volkswagen became American when it was clearly Nazi.
Yeah, there was a shitload of patents that we stole from them.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. A guy by the name of Reinhard Gehlen.
Right.
He was the top spy for the Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up becoming the top guy for the West German intelligence services that would work with the CIA. So it wasn't just the scientists, everybody concentrates on that.
Right.
It was actually the intelligence networks. We also had point people in different places in Rome and other places that were Nazis who would help echo the stories that the CIA, like Dulles, would make up.
Right.
And so this whole idea of fake news and the government manipulating us, I mean, we did have, I think it was part of the church committee where they were finding out, they're funneling all this shit, fake news about countries into our country.
Yeah.
It's not new. So
not new. I mean, even who was it? There was it wasn't Netanyahu. It was one of his cabinet people were saying that that they have to. One of the initiatives of the internet, since they're buying up all this social media platforms and taking control of it, is that they need to spread more misinformation on the internet, put more misinformation, more conspiracy theories in the internet, so that to confuse people
Yeah.
and divide people. So yeah, that's
There was
I just lost a viewer when I mentioned Israel. Whoops.
yeah. No, there was a
Yeah. If you want to make a comment, go on YouTube Live, and we'll be able to see your comment, not on Facebook. So go ahead. Sorry, Miguel. Go ahead.
oh, no worries. And punch the button. Give us a like
Like,
and subscribe.
and subscribe. We're apparently getting a lot of people viewing our show, but nobody's hitting our like button. You know, it's like,
Muy mal.
like us,
Muy mal.
follow.
Muy mal.
Follow us on YouTube, Twitch. We're not on Instagram yet because there's some weird code that I haven't been able to find
Really?
in settings. But yeah,
Yeah, no, like we have to understand, like, and plus, the Dulles brothers were the lawyers for a lot of the Nazi companies.
yes,
And who gets put in charge of like a good deal of the OSS, which is the intelligence services during World War II,
right,
is fucking Alan Dulles.
exactly.
Now, FDR did that because he was expecting to catch all the people he was actually making deals with.
Right.
So he wanted to clip this fucker. Now, I'm of the mind that he was actually poisoned. I know everyone says he was old, he was sick. My suspicion is that he was poisoned. And actually, Stalin told his son Elliot, FDR's son Elliot, that the poisoning had started in Yalta.
In Yalta.
Yalta. When they went to go to have that big meeting, one of the generals, a General Watson, when they came back, died from a brain hemorrhage. And Stalin had said he was most likely poisoned.
Huh.
And of course, what happens after the war, all the New Deal Democrats start getting smeared as communists.
Mm-hmm.
You know, today we have a lot of people on the left who are like, oh, but fucking FDR. Yeah, he was a social democrat, whatever you want to label him as. I think it was just a rich guy trying to save his class. It was being too fucking stupid to realize it. But they hated FDR.
Right.
And they went out of their way for decades to smear FDR and smear everything that he did as socialism. I mean, it is, but I mean, it did help the country grow to be what it is today.
Right.
You know. So, anyway, yeah, I finished The Devil's Chessboard. That's why.
You finished the book.
I fucking ate through that book,
God,
man.
damn it. I'm still where I left off last week. I'm like,
I'm like, I gotta know. I ate that shit up. I was just like, wow, one of the best history books I've read in that period, because he doesn't concentrate on the magic bullet. He's telling you all the players and everything that they did and the connections to all these players. So I think it's a worthwhile book, and you got a real treat in your hands. So I'm not going to ruin too much.
You might want to read Chaos next, because that's the one that talked a lot. That's the one that broke open that whole connection between the CIA and Charles Manson. And the author himself was actually at the hearing of
O'Neill, right?
Yes, O'Neill. Yeah.
Yes, O'Neill. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah,
I'll bookmark that.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me see if I can cue this. Well, it's not a video actually, but I just took a still shot of it because
I got another book that I got to read after this, which is another like 600 pager about the Spanish Civil War and the shit that happened there. So I'm not looking forward to that one. That one's actually, I'm looking forward to learning, but I'm like,
yeah,
when things get a little closer home, it's a little bit like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I just did some screenshots of it. So this is the oversight committee that was mind control and accountability.
Yeah, Representative Luna.
Yeah, so people are like, "Oh, it's a conspiracy theory." No, this is fucking.
No, it's not. It's real.
This is real. This is not. Not everything's a conspiracy theory, kids.
It's more like conspiracy fact, because a conspiracy actually it was the CIA who came up with that whole conspiracy theory to actually smear people.
Yeah. I mean, and that's and remember when the towers fell, people were mourning, and George Bush said, "There's going to be a lot of conspiracy theories questioning the facts of what happened." Like, wait a minute, nobody said shit about now. What do you mean?
apparently
right
talking
over
about,
a building, and you're like saying there's conspiracy. Like they started attacking the left right away.
yep. Well, they did that with the Warren Commission. A lot of people wanted to call it the Dulles Commission because he was the one in charge.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
one, two, LBJ lied and said that RFK Jr. was okay with Dulles wanting that. He wasn't, but he was kind of like squeezed out because his brother had just been killed.
Right,
So he
right,
didn't really have much of a say in it. And later on, he wanted to reopen the case.
right.
So
And it's come out that his bodyguard is the one that shot him in the back, and that it wasn't Sirhan shooting in the front.
well, yeah, when you read the details, it's really weird because he got shot in the head.
Yeah,
But
and
Sirhan,
it was an exit wound, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So
But I think it was a way. I think we had an open air coup.
yeah,
I'll always stick to that. I said that years ago. I'll say it now. It was an open air coup, and
Mhm.
we're living in the Dulles' world.
Right, exactly. And wasn't Sirhan Palestinian? They were trying to blame it on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're trying to blame Palestine.
Didn't stick.
Didn't stick. It might have stuck in the 80s, actually. If they did it in the 80s, it would have actually probably stuck a little bit more.
It's
I
like
think we were
60s are like, where? What?
like, what? What are you fuck you talking about? Yeah, it was a little bit ahead of its time.
Yeah, yeah. Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture talked about that too.
Oh, Stokely, Kwame Ture was awesome. There's the audio of him talking to an Israeli, and he's asking him, well, he says to him, well, don't you see it the same way? We're being, anti-colonial. And he's like, hell no. You are colonial. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's fun books like The Losers. I love this series. This is a Kubert drawn cover. I don't know if he drew the inside. I don't remember. I think it was somebody, maybe Don Heck. Let's see. But Kirby was one of the artists of The Losers. This was actually a movie. Vertigo Pictures actually did, which we were talking about Vertigo Pictures earlier, did
before the show, we started talking about that.
Yeah, before the show. Yeah. It's like and it's funny they end up meeting pirates, but it's like they're abducted by pirates, so it's like kind of like it's funny how this is
what era is that?
This came out during the Vietnam War, but they're talking about World War II, and then there's this anomaly where they end up being pirates, like being captured by pirates. So it's like it's kind of funny. It's beautiful art. It looks like Don Heck. It doesn't credit anybody in the beginning because this is, I think, before they were giving credit to people in comics. DC, Marvel always gave credit to comics, but DC, there's no name, no writer, nothing, just the story. Unless maybe it's in the back. Let me see.
Yeah.
There was a period in time where they did not give credit to writers, and so this is an old. Yep, there's nothing. Jack Squad.
Yeah, I'm reading the story of how
good book.
The comic book industry grew. The Men of Tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's some sad shit, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll give Bob Kane one thing: he was a wily bastard.
Bob Kane.
Oh yeah, because his contract with Leibowitz, he
his father was a lawyer. That's why he was.
No, his father worked at a printing press, so he was already familiar with it.
He had some legal knowledge, though, or something.
Yeah, he was smart in that. When Jerry Siegel approached him to jump in on a case against DC, he went and talked to Leibowitz, said, look, this is what Jerry's going to do. By the way, I want to renegotiate my contract.
Yes.
I want this and this. And he's like, fuck, you're going to get that for. And he's like, because you actually made a contract with a minor.
Right, exactly.
He was like, oh, and because back then he didn't have birth certificate because it wasn't really much of a thing.
Right.
So he ended up weaseling and getting his way and screwing over Jerry Siegel at the same time.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
Yeah. Dog eat dog.
Dog eat dog. It's sad, man. But if Kirby, even when everyone likes to hail Kirby as a hero, Kirby did the same thing when Joe Simon was trying to retain the rights back of Captain America, and he goes to Kirby and he says, "Hey, let's do this together. We can own Captain America, make new stories together, whatever." But Jack Kirby always had a disdain for his wealthier compatriots, So like I guess Joe Simon would be called came out of good stock, or like was a little bit like middle class, or whatever. And Kirby stupidly went behind his back, went to Stanley and the other guy who was the boss. I always forget, and sold Captain America for $20,000.
Well, you know what? It bit him in the ass.
It bit him in the ass
Bit him in the ass.
because I mean, that's what's $20,000 in today's currency? Less than $1 million, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
A few hundred.
Probably hundreds of thousands.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, short-sighted. So I don't. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm always yawning. It's like I sympathize with Kirby and how he's always got screwed, but he was kind of like not smart on that department. He should have left things to the other guy.
Jerry Siegel wasn't much.
Captain America, he'd be much richer for it.
Yeah, and Jerry Siegel wasn't much better either. Like,
yeah,
but he was a kid from Ohio. Well, a young man from Ohio.
Yeah.
And he was dealing with people from like freaking New York who had been like, you're talking some hardcore hustlers, guys hanging out and had friends like Lucky Luciano.
Yeah.
There's no way he was going to be out with them.
Yeah.
He should have been much better with the contract at first, but he wouldn't have known, right?
Right. Exactly.
And he shouldn't have listened to that one lawyer, because he was stationed in World War II with a guy who was a lawyer, and he's like, "Oh, I can win that for you."
Right.
They go to court asking for $1 million. They had ripped him off for Superboy because it was an old idea.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up getting some money for Superboy, which was like $100,000 back then. It wasn't the $5 million that he wanted. And later on, this guy who's a lawyer ends up being a producer of some very big movies, including Touch of Evil. And Jerry's like, how did this guy end up getting that money? He must have screwed me behind my back, gone over, talked to the guy. How much will you pay me to get rid of this headache for you? Right. Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing too, right? That's how corrupt shit is. So.
Oh yeah, man.
It's not easy.
Talk about corruption. It's the 250th anniversary of our nation, and
Yay!
it brings to mind Birth of a Nation.
Birth of a Nation. What a nation it is.
We got this fucking movie that basically created the whole concept of the Ku Klux Klan, right? Inspired the
vigilantism.
And it brought into the White House. People watched it in the White House.
Wilson. Yeah. President Wilson.
And then that brings about, what we saw just yesterday, right before the canceled parade of the firework display that was supposed to take place in Washington, D.C. We have this.
I hope you suffocate. Heat stroke. Yeah, you do.
Still covering their faces. So they canceled the fireworks concert, and they allowed this. Brought to you by Al Jazeera. What does that mean? Why did they even allow them to get the permits? Because you have to apply for permits to do that on the birthday.
I wonder how many of them were cops.
A lot of them.
And I wonder if any of them work in an office who actually helped that permit to get passed through.
Is that sick? This is
I know I tend to think pretty dirty. So that's what I think. It's a bunch of freaking feds. Every single last one of them.
Yeah,
bunch
like
of
the January Sixers and all that stuff,
yeah, because the feds were on the street on January 6th, and they said that there were some people who were egging other people on, and they said that they were feds.
Yeah.
So, and we do that in other countries. They're called color revolutions.
Yeah, yeah.
So, the thing that kills me though is that that style, man. Like, what the, the Nazis used to get Hugo Boss. What the fuck are they getting? Tommy Hilfiger? It's like,
it's
they
just
drive me nuts.
disgusting, man.
It's gross. It's gross, but
It's just like it's really something else. And people are like, well, it's Al Jazeera. You can't believe it. All right. It's like, okay, so how about Reuters? Are we good with Reuters? Is Reuters fake news too? It's funny. I always have to laugh at some people who always question the stuff that we share here.
the news source.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's not this. It's not CNN, or it's not. Like Mass Patriot Frontline.
You mean the CIA News Network?
Right, exactly. All right, here, look, they're freaking on getting on the subway, right? It's like, this is real. Where's the volume for this shit?
I have a question.
How
many of these assholes during COVID would have fought to not wear a mask?
Right. I mean, look at that. It's like they were like walking around with their little.
Okay, heat show.
Look how many of them.
Yeah, you do heat shows. Oh, you made to the gym. How you sweat?
There's that picture of that black woman.
They're like authority figures. They choose to wear the khakis, the Nazis, right?
Right.
With this blue shirt thing going on there, so it's like,
yeah, they look like in G.I. Joe, the Cobra guys.
Cobra.
They quite. You're not really fully Cobra yet. You're kind of like in the initiation stage.
Right.
If you get killed by G.I. Joe as we're going along, oh well, but maybe you'll be officially Cobra.
Right. I mean, what do we?
Here's a gym sock. Cut a hole out of it and put it.
Clearly, their 250th anniversary isn't the same that is ours, right? But I mean, we have a legacy of slavery.
Yeah.
Japanese internment camps, Puerto Rican colonies, still a colony. The Philippines,
experimentation in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Do you remember the guy? He was
Sterilization,
no longer with us. Pete Hernandez. He had a comic called Company Man.
Right.
And it was he passed away years ago, but his comic dealt with the experimentation in Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
So they did a lot of crap everywhere, man. But that's the world that they love.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, and then what's happening now in the West Bank, Gaza?
Yeah, it's all the same extension of the same shit.
Yeah, it's all the same shit. I saw Young Washington. I was feeling very patriotic yesterday. I saw it because it was free.
Okay.
Apparently,
were you like doing something else as you watched it?
Well, I went to the Yankee game because it was free, and we got a free ticket. A good friend of mine, Gary Camp, who was on one of our episodes. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. I keep yawning. I'm like, am I boring myself? It's like, I keep yawning. I'm like, oh. But Young Washington, it was actually really good. But I thought it was hilarious because the first thing I said was, "Oh, watch him! They're gonna show him chopping down a cherry tree." I said that's the fucking first thing they did. It's like, are we really going with that trope? No.
Did they have wooden teeth?
No, because it was Young Washington, not Old Washington. But the whole wooden teeth thing was bullshit too, right? Because they had slavery teeth, right?
That's where I was going with that.
Yeah, But this is why Young Washington. Good movie. Star-studded cast. I'm surprised it's not getting as because it's Angel Films. I mean, you got Andy Serkis is in it. You got Ben Kingsley is in it. You got a whole bunch of people that are like really fucking huge in this movie that are not advertised on that poster.
So did he get, like his slaves and stuff too? Because
It's basically, yeah, they mentioned the slaves, but they only showed two. It's like only two black folks. That's too much.
Here's the killer.
We don't make it DEI. It's like,
here's a killer. He has no white living descendants.
right. What, Washington?
Yeah, he only had, and it's not direct. The only descendants he has are all black.
Oh yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Yes, yeah.
Because, and that goes actually for a lot of the black community. It's a higher chance of black Americans related to the founders.
Oh yeah.
Than,
Franklin. Well, Washington is a very common black last name.
That's right.
It's
That's
like,
right.
well, I'm a descendant of Livingston, but our last name was Peterson, which was Scottish. But according to my grandfather, he says that we were the what was it? The Creoles, right? So it's like, so even if you had like a, like you weren't considered white if you had like a little bit of black blood in you, So, but they were upper class, but they were upper class.
That was something that a lot of young black people were freaking out in Sinners, because the one girl that shows up, they're like, she's not black. And everyone who's older is going, oh yeah, you don't know about the one drop rule, do you?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm a descendant of Thomas Overton.
Oh wow.
Thomas Overton was actually he was given the rank of brigadier general after the Revolutionary War, and he and his brother were good friends with the asshole Andrew Jackson.
Yeah.
So
colonialism.
Yeah. And Thomas was his number two. Was Andrew Jackson's number two in his famous duel with Dickerson.
Right.
Which they say that Andrew cheated, and because he shot the guy in the face. And his gun jammed, and if your gun jammed, it meant that you took a shot and you were supposed to then let the other guy go. And the guy was actually the best shot in that area, but he actually got it unjammed and shot the guy anyway. So there's a big controversy with that. Right?
This is one thing I remember being told in school as a kid in elementary school. I remember this, and I don't know, I Googled it. Google no longer supports that fact, but I remember, maybe, I don't know, maybe this is a Mandela effect thing, who knows, but I remember distinctly as a kid being told, and even from elementary and middle school, that George Washington was illiterate and that he had wooden teeth. That was his story, and the cherry tree. Those are the things. But
those legends.
But in this movie, he's very prolific. He's a writer. He's writing to the king and all this shit. And
well, maybe the illiteracy was the fake part. I mean, if you owned enslaved people, chances are you come from a wealthy family.
They're saying that's another thing, that he wasn't from wealth, but that he was born in America as a colonist. And I was like, really? I don't remember that he was born in America, born on these lands as a colonist. I don't remember that story. I thought he was
a tobacco farm.
Right. He was, So he was a farmer, right?
Well,
but I don't remember any story saying that George Washington was born in the United States. Well, it was the colonies or whatever. They always made it sound like the founding fathers came from abroad and then came here.
No. But they were born there.
So it's just like, okay, what the fuck? I don't know.
Back then they would have been called Creoles, because that's what Creole meant. It was someone born in the Americas, right?
Right. So he was born in the Americas, right? So that was news to me. I don't know. Maybe being educated in the Bronx. It's
the era too. Like, there are things that we were told. Like, I was being educated in Spain, Canada,
right?
A little bit in the States, back to Canada. There are things in Canada that no longer hold to be true that we were told. Like, we were told the story that Iceland was called Iceland, but it was actually technically Greenland, and Greenland was called Iceland.
Yes,
that's a way to trick people, but that's not true. But we were taught that.
I was taught, we were taught that. That was a history lesson. To trick invaders or some shit like that, right?
Some stupid shit like that. We were so you were taught that too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things now that we've been taught from when we were young,
which were lies.
which were lies, right? And that's why you have to, when you get to be an adult,
Mhm.
you have to go, well, fucking wait a second. Was that really true what they told me in school?
Right.
And
Like
you
the
have to update your education every so often. No, you really do.
Right. or the United States winning Vietnam when clearly they lost, and the Nam book, great comic book from the 80s.
Oh yeah, that was
You know,
that was the adult book.
yeah, this was actually the number one selling issue in 85, 86.
Mm-hmm.
Actually 87. Well, this one came out 87, but yeah, around that time. But and it actually went into like a lot of historical stuff too, which was what set itself apart. And then of course it kind of brought the Punisher back to life, but in a new light, where the Punisher
Right, yeah.
more
Did
about
Larry Hama write that?
this one here. No, Larry Hama was responsible for G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I
This
don't know if he wrote some
was,
issues of
let me see. I know the letterer was Phil Felix. Let's see, who was the writer? No, the artist was this cartoony guy. I love this guy's work. Actually, Michael. I don't like Michael Golden, great guy. Yeah, Doug Murray was the writer, and I believe he was a vet.
Mm.
I'm not mistaken. So this is kind of like his experiences. But funny enough, though, maybe we'll talk about it next week. I have to dig around for it. The Nam was a knockoff of an actual indie comic book that came out before called Green Beret.
Mm.
And it was actually written by an actual, and it was more detailed and more brutal than this book. And his book came out before the Nam. And then the Nam, this didn't originally come out in a comic book format. It was originally published, I believe, through Epic or another sub.
Oh, that's right. That was a sub of Marvel.
It was either a sub of Marvel. It was a black and white magazine format, and I forgot the name of the magazine. It had a name. The magazine had a name. And then they republished it again in black and white under the Nam, but it was published under another book called Search and Destroy.
Mm.
Right? And it was by this other sub sister company of Marvel. So it actually had many incarnations before it became the comic book we knew in 87.
Yeah.
The Nam.
Yeah. I remember like picking up my Spider-Man and Batman comics and looking over at the Nam going, yeah, that looks, I'm like 10, looking at that going, that seems a little serious.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's funny, they actually drew the black guy like Idi Amin. I just realized that now. Like, that's funny. It's kind of fucked up, but he's an American. Look, he looks like Idi Amin right there. Look at that.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
That's
hysterical.
I'm just flipping. He's got the gold teeth and everything. Like, oh, that's funny.
Well, a little bit of little trivia for you. The guy that helped kill Patrice Lumumba in Congo, being the first elected president of Congo, was Mobutu.
Mobutu, yes.
Mobutu, like, basically, and then went along with the colonizers.
Now, what's interesting is that we're going back to Birth of a Nation, right? And these stereotypes like blackface and stuff like that, and
well, we have this.
Still see those tropes in these images of how they depict the black guy with the big smile, the teeth.
Oh man,
great face,
apish,
right? Yeah, it's got the apish, the wide grin, like it's the pantomime, like the yes sir type of, Even in the 80s, I mean, even the Latino guy looks kind of like, kind of like lampoonish. It's so every expression is an exaggeration, So that's kind of like.
Well, there was it.
He's got the fucking eyes, it's. So even in 1987, you still have these tropes of like step and fetch it over here, you know. Just fucking crazy.
It's
fucking like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because that's like our youth. Like we grew up with that shit, and I think that's why so many people get upset.
That's subliminal.
when you try to humanize.
And they repeat the same panel over and over again. That panel's in the book 3 times.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's fucked.
I got to count now. But go ahead. You were saying.
Yeah, I think that's why so many of us who are non-melanated,
Yeah.
when they see someone like a character turn black, they freak out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. No. Oh, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
No.
Like, piss
They
off.
just turned, didn't Christopher Priest just turn Black Panther white in the comics? No problem.
He had a son. Black Panther had a son that he adopted that was white.
Is
And
that
from my understanding, he was a fuck up. Yeah, so he didn't end up doing very, very good by Wakanda. So there's that.
I have a reason. I think the reason is because the original Black Panther was actually a white character. It was kind of like a Tarzan ripoff.
Yeah, you were telling me about that last week.
And then they changed his name. It was only one issue, and then they changed the second issue. He was called Mr. Fury, and then the third appearance was actually Mrs. Fury, which is actually the fucking ripoff of Catwoman, right? Where they later stole Mrs. Fury's look for Catwoman. Like
Yeah,
2 decades later.
Yeah. No, I was like, wait a second, she came first. Like,
The Catwoman came first, but Catwoman used to wear a dress, and she actually literally had a cat head on her.
Yeah. No, I meant Miss Fury came first. Thank you.
Yeah, Miss Fury. Yeah, Miss Fury was first. Yeah.
Which is just some S&M costume anyway.
Yeah.
I think they're just.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why, reading about their, don't want to know about their lives because you can't look at those characters the same way. It's like, no, just keep that shit to yourself. Don't need to know,
Yeah. So I think the reason why they did that story is to basically, because that's public domain, that character. I think they did that to prevent anyone
from bringing it back
under those under the public domain law. Like, hey, we're gonna we're gonna do
Is Miss Fury in public domain yet?
I believe she is. Yeah, she's a public domain character. Yeah.
Might be a way of getting around the whole Catwoman thing.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of IDW that, and it has been doing a lot of those public domain. Alex Ross did a lot of those public domain characters. There were some characters that I know that Joe Simon's grandson is basically started publishing again to keep them out of public domain, but I don't know if he can actually do that. I mean, if you re-trademark or re-copyright stuff under a new family member. So yeah, I don't know if that's going to stick. But
well, if he was Disney, it could. The Sonny Bono clause. Hey,
right.
You get to keep it forever.
Yeah. I mean, Superman's supposed to be public domain, and they've kept it out, and so is Batman, but they will be soon. So this is the original page of the original Black Panther here.
Man, he must get some vicious sunburn.
Yeah, I know, right? Being in Africa.
I wonder who the Black Panther is. I don't know, but that guy, dude, he's kind of red.
He's more the Red Panther.
Yeah. Not good, man.
Yeah. And then later he became Mr. Fury, and then I guess they were just.
Oh, back then when Superman hit, I was just reading, they were just coming up with all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
Even Will Eisner was trying to get some super characters. Jerry Siegel was actually kind of sad because he had a follow-up to Superman that was really kind of pathetic.
Right.
It was Funny Man or something.
Oh yes, Funny Man.
Yeah.
And they also had like a Hobo Man too. Like
Yeah, it was like
it's hard to hit that mark, right?
Well, when you kind of go into the polar opposite of what Superman was to Funny Man and Hobo Man, even more so, right? Because you're not kind of hitting it within the same vein with a different variation. I was just like, whoa. Because you read about the era, it was like when he came out with Funny Man, the crime comics came about. And I'm reading about how that idiot that ran EC, and he wasn't an idiot, he was just a prankster. did all this shit because a lot of the veterans were like sick and tired of
Right.
1950s normal America, so they're just pushing the limits on everything.
Yeah.
Get stabbed in the eye, severed heads.
Yeah.
And when it came to the Wordham hearings, he's the only one that volunteered to testify, while everyone else is like, "Fucking shut up! Don't say anything."
Say anything.
And he cooked himself because they had a picture of one of the covers
Right.
of a woman's severed head being held. An idiot was like, when they asked him, "So, do you think this is appropriate?" He's like, "Well, it's appropriate for the magazine." I was like, "Oh, you don't do that, right?" He thought he was being funny, right?
Yeah. He was being. You can't joke in court, and you can't joke in airports. They're not appreciative of humor. You know.
No.
You can't say bomb in an airport anymore. You know.
No. But we can.
It's like
we can thank him for Mad Magazine.
Right, exactly. You know,
that's for Mad.
He's right. That was it's like.
But I was just like, oh man, how could you be so stupid?
Yeah, you know, it is. Some people, you know, they don't know when to turn it off, right? It's like,
well, it said that he took over his dad's company. His dad had a failing comic book company. He wanted to make the comics educational. He just wanted to become a teacher.
Right.
I forget the guy's name, but anyway, he ends up. His mom's basically doesn't have any pension. The only money she's getting is from this publishing. And he's like, all right, I'll take it over. And he did the polar opposite of what his father wanted. So a lot of it was because he had worked with his dad. It was to also lash out at his father by being a complete asshole about it. So there's that there too. You know,
that's the typical teenage angst, right? I see we have 5 live viewers on YouTube. If you want to comment, we'll share your comments.
Yeah. Well, I shared with you a video, a story. I don't know if you want to put it up. It's in the chat here.
Oh, let's see it. It's,
a certain country is celebrating our 250th anniversary of the United States. And when I saw it, because I did see the video, this story doesn't have a video, but it has a picture. I was like,
what the fuck? Look, it's got Trump.
Exactly. Like, okay.
Why are they such ass kissers? You know, it's like, what's
incredible? Hell? Like, you know, like, Native Americans don't do that shit. Could you imagine? Yeah, I nuked the shit out of you twice. You're gonna freaking like celebrate us? Thank you, America.
These people are ass kissers. I'm sorry,
man.
This president, the Japanese president, shame on her.
She has no guts.
No guts, dude.
Or no.
That's such
no
what a shame.
She's got none.
I mean, I can't say it, but you know, we were talking earlier.
Well, we can use the word sellout. She's a fucking sellout.
She's a sellout, dude. She's a sellout.
That's sellout shit to do, man. And then they wonder why in Asia they fucking like rib them for like wanting to be white people. It's like,
you know what it is? It's like Japan is kind of clueless in some ways. They still have blackface humor in some of their stuff, right? But it's not towards African Americans. People associated with that. It's actually with the darker Asians and the natives that actually live, like the Okinawans.
The Ainu, yeah, the Ainu.
So it's like they still use that humor. And then there was a really good hip hop comic that came out, and I was like, oh, at first I thought it was like about black culture or whatever. No, it was actually they were equating the black culture, the hip hop culture, which did blow up in Japan, without a doubt. It did.
Tokyo Godfathers?
Yes, Tokyo. I think the Tokyo Godfathers, but it was the other one called Tokyo.
No, not Tokyo. That's a different one.
Tokyo.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, I can see it in my
Tokyo
head.
Tribe.
Tokyo Tribe. That's it. Tokyo Godfathers was the anime.
Yeah,
that was actually really good anime.
And Tokyo Tribe also had an anime, but it ended up taking all these tropes and turning it. And if you read the comic book is actually very good. But then you read the translation of it. And actually, what's funny was also when Tokyo Pop published it, it was the very first anime that they censored. Why? I've seen so much gross shit in animes, like Bastard has so much gross shit in there. And then, we lost 2 people viewing live because we criticized Japan. Oh, sorry. Sorry, we got a punch for everybody, you know.
Oh, yeah, everybody gets it.
Everyone's getting it, you know.
Everybody gets it.
Between France and the Bronx, everyone's getting it. No one's walking out
Everybody gets
without
it.
getting touched. It's like
them's the grounds rules.
that's the ground rules.
Them's the grounds.
We're playing the numbers here, right? But yeah, Tokyo Tribe was a really cool book. I thought it was very different. I first read it in 2006. Correction. I first discovered it in 2006 when I was in Taiwan. It was not translated into English, but I say read it because comics, I read comic books in other countries because if you have a really good comic, you can read it without the words. So I literally got all the volumes and read it visually and got the gist of the story. But once it got translated into America, I think in 2010, and read it word, but then I was like, this is kind of racist. It's like, like this is kind of, and it was kind of like, which is sad because I really loved it. I felt kind of proud, like, oh, this is kind of cool. It's like Bronx culture, but it's really almost like a slam or a slant on the darker Japanese, you know, who are embracing the hip hop culture.
Yeah, it's interesting because I picked up. They used to have those how to draw mangas like years and years ago.
Yeah.
And I picked up one on hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
It was very interesting. Like they were talking about it, and in it though they said like we Japanese, they were honest. We take it as like fashion, but in the United States, it's actually more than fashion. There's a whole philosophy behind hip hop, and I thought it was very interesting that they said that.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I mean, it's an island that really only opened up in the late 1800s.
Right,
It was
exactly.
closed off to the world for a long time.
Yeah, it was like 100
And
years.
the only country that has actually taken over Japan is the United States. It's the only one that really, I wouldn't say defeated it because China did kick the shit out of it too.
Right.
I mean, they lost millions of people.
Yeah.
But we're the only ones who actually put our bases there. So
Yeah.
I think that had a
They've
psychological.
been trying to remove because of a lot of rape and stuff like that over the decades, you know.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, Koreans could complain about that from them too.
Yeah.
About Japanese too, and Taiwanese too.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry,
but anyway, it's I was just shocked to see that. I'm like, they're not celebrating. Like France helped, along with Spain, helped birth the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it wasn't for the money from France and Spain,
Yeah.
with some assistance from Russia, by the way, a lot of people don't know this.
Yeah.
We would not be the United States of America. I
Right.
don't see fucking firecrackers here.
Yesterday's allies are today's enemies, right?
Well, you know.
That's my phrase for American international treaties and laws and how we go about the international community. Like, oh yeah, we're buddies. Yeah, give me a hand. I'll do this. I mean, and actually, the Young Washington film. You know, not to harp on it too hardly, but you know, I did see it for free, so I might as well pay it forward a little. I'm not getting any sponsorship from Angel Studios, but it was a very good movie, and it does highlight about how Washington basically picked a fight with the French and the
French Indian War.
Yeah, the French Indian War, and the British
Good.
didn't want to take credit for it, and they didn't want to be responsible for it. So George Washington was the gullible idiot or the
Fall guy.
The fall guy, the scapegoat, right, of this thing. So, and I thought it was interesting how they showed that. So it wasn't about the American Revolution or any of those other stories, which I thought this is like,
Pre.
everything about prequels, right? So this is like the guy behind the guy, but it was masterfully acted. It was very good, and I will. It's still free this week, so I will promote the free code, so
Well,
people could go watch it.
what you say about allies, people confuse allies and friends.
Yeah.
That's a big difference between an ally and a friend. I think that's why people get upset. Oh, they're supposed to be our allies. Allies tend to have certain goals. You might hate each other's guts, but the point is, all right, so we want to fuck over England, right? Yeah, I'm in. We fucked over England. We're not friends anymore, man. See ya. And that's how it works. I mean, European history is chock full of that shit. Spain teaming up with France to fuck over England. England with France fucking over Spain. Portugal together with England screwing over. It's just like
nonstop.
It's not America that's alone in that. It's a very European way of dealing with shit, and that's.
And in the 250 years, nobody's really talking about the Native Indians and the things that we did to them. Here's a clip over here.
Hey, merciless savages, like it says in the Declaration, right?
Right, exactly. It's fucked up. Take a look at this. And they kind of convey that in the film too, which is interesting. But take a look at this video here we got.
As Native American people, we haven't been here for 250 years. We was here 200 million years before.
Not our independence, not my independence. I don't celebrate it.
A lot of holidays in America we don't celebrate. That holiday has really nothing to do with our culture.
We didn't cook out. We didn't celebrate what was going on, because back then when I was little, I didn't even know what 4th of July was. I thought it was all about fireworks. What the government has done to our people, so much can be talked about.
They don't want to let people know the true history of America and how it was actually built. And it was built on most the backs of our people, African American people, and they want to erase that. I actually homeschool my kids because of things like this, because I think what they're teaching in history is inaccurate.
From McPherson Square, Jimmy Alexander, WTOP News.
And actually,
she's right.
She's right. I mean, the Red Hawk Nation Council, they actually do a lot of these performances and cultural dances. They're actually like contests. So as they're performing, they're actually like there's actually like prizes and money related to these type of things. They have actually July 11th. They'll have one up here by the Wayne. The Wayne Center over here. My brain's not working today. It's like the Wayne Rec Center over here, not too like one exit away from where I live near Bear Mountain, and it's like a whole weekend of. And they also do it in Brooklyn and other locations. They had a small one in the Bronx, I think, 2 years ago. Trying to it's an informative day of learning about their culture. They have numbers, so they all have, and they do the drums, and you could feel it in your chest, like the beating.
Like a powwow?
It's a powwow, yeah. It's like a powwow thing.
Yeah, it's a powwow. Yeah, I've cousins in Indian country.
Yeah, it's really nice,
And I've cousins in Indian country. Like my family runs from the three.
Yeah.
So to me, went,
I could see it in your cheekbones,
Yeah.
Yeah.
My late brother used to joke. He said, we had ancestors who were here on the land before the other ancestors came to steal it to bring the other ancestors in chains.
Right, exactly.
So that's American history in a nutshell.
And there's a lot of new information coming out. That's old information that people going back to these original books. A lot of them they burned in libraries or throughout. Because I don't know why, but in this country, after a while they'll throw out a bunch of old books and then delete that old history, and then good luck finding that book again. But there's a lot of evidence that. Columbus's own journals talked about Africans already coming to the Americas.
Yeah.
So the whole story about him getting lost and looking for India is bullshit too. It's like he knew where he was going because he was following the African maps. the Americas.
Yeah, Musa Masa, or I always fuck
Yeah.
up his name.
Yeah.
Mansa Musa.
Yeah.
Anyway, the king, the very wealthy king, his
Right.
brother took an expedition that was never seen again.
Right.
And they say that he hit that stream and made it to the Americas. And then when they found some gold spears, when they were in Hispaniola, they found some gold spear heads.
Mhm.
And when they took it back to Spain, when they did the metallurgy, they said that that gold was from West Africa. And they would know it because the gold was being traded.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so Africans and a lot of Native Indians, also like the Seminoles, right?
Mhm.
That tribe was fighting for reparations when Native Indians were getting reparations, and they were kind of pushed out. So because you had a lot of Africans, not all Black people were brought from Africa. We already had Blacks already integrated with the
Kind
Native.
of like the Australians, right?
Yeah,
You're-
same thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I could see that.
yeah.
I could see that. There's shoot. Actually, the interesting thing is the history of Hispaniola is a history of you have some Black people who are soldiers for the Spanish. They bring over a lot of enslaved Africans.
Mhm.
The enslaved Africans are veterans from the wars that are going on between the kingdoms in Africa,
Mhm.
and they start joining with the indigenous people to fight. And the first rebellion was actually
Right.
the enslaved Africans with the indigenous fighting back against the Spanish.
Right.
So, and along the Amazon, a lot of people are Afro-Indian because of a lot of the same similar scenarios with the Portuguese.
Correct.
I had a bit of an exchange with a family member here in France on my Facebook because I had put the resistance started in 1492. And he's like, oh, and he went off on this general, like, that's just general shit. You're talking about Egypt and Rome and stuff. I'm being very specific. And he shot back. I said, this is for my American friends. And he's like, well, are your American friends Native Americans? To which I shot back. He hasn't answered me back. It's been a week. Dude, I got family in Indian country.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
like, what the fuck you talking about? I said, Latinos,
Right. They
are
call us Latinos, but we're fucking Native Indians.
indigenous, right? It's like
Puerto Ricans are indigenous. They don't want to give us reparations for it. They don't want to give us our own land back for it. They want to, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Mexicans,
Haitians.
Asians, Peruvians. They're all indigenous people. We're from the Americas.
Yep.
So I don't understand why is it that you could consider Puerto Ricans American and we're born American citizens, but Mexicans, Peruvians, Ecuadorians aren't, and they're living in the Americas.
They're all descendants overall,
Right.
descendants of the Mexica and other peoples.
Right.
They're native to the land.
That's correct.
It's just like wild to me, but
right. They call us illegal aliens. Well, not me, but but they. Well, my
here's the thing.
Immigrant because she is from Colombia, but
And here's the thing: the resistance just didn't start for indigenous people in 1492.
Right.
It started for Africans too.
Yeah.
Like I think many Europeans sort of have this romantic idea. Oh, it's just the Native Americans fighting against us.
Mhm.
It's like motherfuckers. You guys took two peoples, and you sacked not one continent but fucking two continents, and you're still sacking it.
Right, and then you integrate us and start making us into what they used to call mulattoes and stuff like that, mixing us.
Yeah, the casta.
Yeah, the whole caste system and trying to create one ruling class over another and all that stuff. That's where we made light-skinned blacks as well.
Oh yeah, they had the was it black people? Then it was mulattoes. Then you got the very top was peninsulares, which was the peninsula people.
Yeah, and then in Australia, you had the Aboriginals there that the rabbit. You ever seen that movie Rabbit? What was it called? Rabbit Picket Fence or something like that, about how they would separate them. Oh, you gotta look that up. That was a good movie. Make you cry. It's a documentary about these two sisters that were separated because of colonialism, where they forced them into these schools. They would steal the Aboriginal children from their Aborigines went to these schools and that were mixed. They were mixed kids because most of their brothers were either raped or whatever, and they were creating that other secondary class. And it goes into the whole philosophy of how they were trying to make a lower white class, but through Aboriginals, and saying how they can. It was almost like they were experimenting genetically to see how many generations it would take to eliminate that presence of native and how the European line would dominate them.
Yeah, actually, Jefferson,
Thomas
Jefferson had a whole formula on how to breed out blackness.
Yes, exactly.
So that falls all in line. Like, people don't understand how fucked up it was. It wasn't just about skin color at one point. It was about biology.
Biology, yep, genetics.
They were afraid of, and it sounds absolutely absurd, white Negroes.
Yeah, exactly.
People who looked like them but were biologically us, which is fucking absurd. We all like biologically.
Yeah.
There's nothing different inside of us, right?
Like I recently learned that Babe Ruth was actually a black man that he was passing.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, and I have heard of that.
It's like, wait a second.
Because he was really nice to the black fans.
Mm-hmm.
He was very nice. Rhett Butler, I heard too.
Yeah, Rhett Butler.
He's passing.
Yeah. So many actors and actresses and that we thought were white were actually black people.
Well, what's wild about it, and this is something I've noticed because, well, I don't pass, but I have my son can, my niece can. My niece, if you were to see my niece, you would think she was white Filipina. She says to me all the time, she says, white people have no clue that I'm mixed.
Yeah.
But black people always know, like, what are you mixed with?
Yeah.
And it's true.
I get dark skin from my father because my mom was passing. She was like pale white with green eyes, blonde hair, but her sisters were black. Some were darker than you. Those are her sisters. It's like, it's wild.
If you saw my brother, you would have thought he could pass for Arabic or North African. We did not share the same features and stuff.
Right.
And it's just, in the end, it's stupid. But I guess if you grow up with one phenotype in your life, you just sort of sit there and just think, oh, yes, white equals this. Like this whole thing with that.
Right.
I was telling you about the Paraguayan guy, and he's like saying, oh, yeah, there's an all-French team. It's like, dude, those light dudes were Algerian. They're African. Like, he was like, what the fuck, are you stupid?
What are you talking about?
It's like only dark-skinned people are fucking like, African. There's like a range of African skin tones. Like, oh, man. And it's funny because on the same hand, and rightfully so, France gets criticized and Europe gets criticized for its racism. Yeah. But on the flip side, if I was to turn on any telenovela from the Americas, guess which phenotype they're favoring over everyone else? It's the Europeans. It's like, dude, you could say that Europe is racist. That's absolutely, sure, true. But on the other hand, when someone says you're racist, eat it.
Right.
Just like that Weird Al says, eat it. Don't be like, yeah, okay. So
yeah, I mean, I think this is, being on the 250th anniversary of this nation, we really have to call out the bullshit.
Oh yeah. And we do all the time, though.
People have to get a little bit more aggressive about, and I'm not calling for violence, just disclaimer, but people have to get a little bit more aggressive about their politics and make a stand and say, hey, there should be more demonstrations. There should be more. People are shying away from, they're demonstrators. That's in our Constitution. It's the First Amendment. Read your Constitution.
Well, speaking of that, there's a great story that happened. I saw this on Friday, and I thought, the fuck am I seeing? So there's a Facebook page about white pride or white people that are proud of being white.
Mm-hmm.
And it absolutely got trolled.
Mm-hmm.
Like, black people went in there and overtook that fucking page, man, and there's some of the funniest shit. And whoever thought of it, whoever you are out there, I want to let you know you're a fucking comedy activist genius.
Yeah, right.
I sent you the video that summarizes it probably better than I would.
But
But
that was on Instagram or was that on X?
it's on Messenger, Facebook.
Okay.
If you go up a few, one of the few I responded to, it is some of the classic shit, man. Man, I love black people. They're just awesome. Just fucking awesome. I love my people.
Oh, we got a comment, but on the thing it says, Prez Poopy Pants has made it completely comfortable for this to happen and many racial groups. Thank you, Roger. I miss you, bro.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Judy. And then Judy says, why are they covering their faces? If you're proud to be racist, don't cover your face. LOL. I agree.
Yeah. Because they're ugly.
Yes. Inside and out.
No, they want to keep their jobs. That's what they want to do.
Yeah, for real, man. You know, it's
wild. Like
there's also like they're also starting to do like white states, like in territories where now
they're doing that shit again.
Yeah, they're doing that again. They're doing redlining again openly. Like, oh well, you know, if the Jews can have an old Jewish state, why can't the whites have an all white state? That's like,
dude, you know what?
Fuck.
Just give them one.
Give them one. And drop a bomb on it. I'm just kidding.
No, dude. You don't even need to know that. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. They will do it to themselves.
Yeah, they will. They don't like each other.
Dude, white on white crime
right.
is in the millions. Like, no one can outdo killing each other the same way that Europeans can do it, man. They're masters. It's like, look at World War One. Millions of people. You know?
I don't know if I ever told you. I worked the last prison I worked at, which was Lincoln Hall upstate. Oh, everyone got along. Great. Whatever. But it shows you unconsciously how people thought of each other as a class, right? So literally in our teacher's lounge, right? I'm not shitting on anybody. I think this wasn't done intentionally, but it just shows you how the structure in our brains are unconscious. And these are all Caucasian people. There was a few black people or whatever there and a few Hispanics, but I think there was only myself and one other lady that was Hispanic, right? So anyway, the seating arrangement, the first table.
I think you've told me this, yeah.
Crossword table. And that's where I sat because I didn't realize it. My day one, I just thought it was the first table. When you walk in, I sat on it. And they told me, you can't sit there. So-and-so sits there. That's another teacher's seat. I was like, is he here today? They're like, no. I said, they said, oh, he might be late today. I was like, so are you asking me to change my seat from where I'm sitting? They're like, well, everyone just sits a certain place here. And we don't like change. So I was like, you know what? When the guy shows up, I said, well, I'm sitting here now. I said, I know we work in a prison, you know, or like, you know, it's not really a real prison. It's like a, you know, prison like. But I said, but we don't have to go by prison rules, right?
Right.
So apparently I learned later that was the Jewish table, right? The back table adjacent to it was the Irish table, right? And it sometimes was shared by the Italians. Most of the time, the Irish stood up next to the table. They didn't always sit down. Or if the Italians were sitting there, the Irish would get up or whatever. Like, and then there was two back tables, and that's where the Hispanics and blacks sat, which were next to the toilet that smelled really bad. So this is like the table arrangement in America, you know. And I just thought it was funny because I liked everybody there. But I was just like, and then when the dude showed up, he stood there looking at me. I just looked at him. I was like, you want your chair? He's like, no, it's okay. But I was just like, that's when it dawned on me, white people don't like each other. Even in a white structured environment of only white, you know.
They don't.
They have, and I started thinking about when I was an intern downtown in Chambers Street, on 1 Center Street. they had a similar thing, like the Irish, the Italians, the Jews. They all had their own little separate little thing, right? And the blacks, right? It's like, uh, and it's just like, wow. But I guess because of my complexion, I'm able to navigate through all of and my personality. I talk to everybody. I used to knock on doors at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning as a Jehovah's.
You grew up Jehovah, right?
I talked to everybody, and then I worked in a bar after, when I left. So it's like,
oh wow.
So I'm a social whore, as they say. I could talk to anyone about anything at any point or any time. I could spark up a conversation with anyone. I used to even talk to the homeless people in my neighborhood, like I knew the homeless guy John. I knew like the drug dealers. Sometimes they'd be like, "Hey, can you pray for me?" And I'd pray for them, and I was into that thing. I think at that time I was the only one that we hand built a basketball court in our backyard, and everyone used to play basketball in our backyard. The drug dealers, the guys even the people that we weren't really friends with would come over and hang out and play basketball. So that was like little kids. Like we always had strangers in our backyard because the basketball courts in the park sucked. And we had this really cool one that we built ourselves. So, I think the basketball court really brought it between that, being a Jehovah's Witness, and the love of basketball, brought us together,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I learned early on that they didn't like each other.
Yeah.
I prayed for my mom, actually, because Spanish people don't really care for the British. They don't care for the French. Oh, the Spanish. It's softened a lot now. Like the younger generation wouldn't be like this, but the old generation, holy shit.
Right.
I mean, the French did invade Spain at one point. It was their rival as
Right.
well, too.
Right.
The British, especially a certain generation, if you want to call someone an SOB, you would call them the Sons of Great Britain.
Right.
Right. Everyone sort of goes, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Sons of Great Britain.
Oh, the Sons of Great Britain. Los hijos
The next comic.
los hijos de la Gran Bretaña. And you're like, fuck. Yeah, so they hated them. So I kind of grew up understanding that because of the European thing. And then moving to Canada is where I started to see that whiteness has layers. It's a tier system.
It's a white onion.
Well, yeah, it's a white onion. So
or a glass onion.
You would have like the Slavs,
Right.
then Mediterranean people,
Right.
then Irish, Scottish, and at the top of the pyramid in Canada is everyone who is of English descent. They're the top.
Right.
And I grew up. My dad's from East St. Louis. He raised me to understand there's a whole color code in the States, but in Canada has the color code, not the same way per se,
Right.
but the layers of whiteness. You're like, holy shit, you guys messed up. And in that sense, it's probably why I always kind of think like, why would anyone want to imitate them? They spend most of the time hating each other. Like, I think the opposite of it is being able to connect with those who are able to see beyond the shit.
Right.
Because the whole system is to control us.
Absolutely.
Right.
Even if you're all under the same God, like if they're all like all Christians, but they're all different denominations of Christians, and they practice wrong. They're not practicing this way. They're like the Jehovah's Witnesses were like, the Catholics are this, and the born agains are that, and oh God, the Pentecostals, blah. It's like nobody likes each other.
Nobody. At the end of the day,
It's like, but you all guys like Jesus and you preach Jesus, but nobody.
It limits your experience because there might be things you learn from someone else. Doesn't mean you have to agree with them.
Right.
Like, of course, I'm not going to go hang out with racists because I know exactly what I'm going to get from them, right? But right, which is a lot of stress and just stupidity. But on the other hand, it's like, if someone's Hindu or something,
Right.
why let your religion get in the way?
Right.
There's a lot of things you can learn from these people. I had a friend who was, he wasn't a friend. He was a manager. He was Pakistani. I was living in Toronto at the time, doing telemarketing. And he told me once, he goes out to this club.
Right.
He's talking to this guy. And it just so happens that he speaks the same dialect as he does from Pakistan. They start chit-chatting. And then later on, after like an hour or two chatting, they're like, "Hey, where are you from?" "Well, I'm from Pakistan. You?" I'm from India." And they burst out laughing because they turned to each other and they said, "Yeah, I thought you were supposed to cook your babies."
Right. It's like
Right?
partition.
Because they hate each other so much. But
Right.
at that, and they laughed it off and they ended up being friends. But because there's all these barriers that are put up, not by us.
Right.
And just this past week, I put up a post saying it's not the ignorant people that created racism.
Right.
It was the educated.
Right. Of course. Of course.
And someone had said something to the effect of, yeah, was it all red states must follow Trevor Noah rules, no ethnic
I
food?
agree. I agree.
Dude, they'll kill each other. Only steak and potatoes. No, no potatoes.
Potatoes are Irish. Those are ethnic.
No. They're Native American.
Oh, they're Native American. That's right. They were brought over. That's right. That's right.
You can't get that. You only get the steak. And even the steak's questionable because it was African ranchers who first started that shit. So they're fucked. They're just eating dirt.
That's right, because and the Irish were mixed with blacks as well, right? So that's why they call them the blacks, the Black Irish, right?
Well, that's what they say, but they
Yeah.
actually did a whole thing where it was a separate people who were living there before the other ones showed up.
Right, the other one showed up, right? The natives.
Yeah, and then the other ones showed up there, and then they started labeling them all sorts of stuff like Black Irish and that they're mixed.
Right,
Like there's various things that say that they were just there. They weren't black or mixed. That they were just their own people.
There was something funny, and it might be anti-Semitic, but because there's so much shit out there, but they were saying that Europe used to call the Danes were the Danes, the Scots were the Scots, right? But then when they started adding ish to it, like Scottish, Danish, Irish, it's like because the reason why they added the ish because some part of them genetically was Jewish or something. I was like, I never heard that before, but I was like, that might be total bullshit. But
it is total bullshit. I'll tell you why.
Because I was like, yeah, go ahead.
That's assuming that everybody in Europe fucking speaks English. While there's fucking like Spanish, we don't have ish, right? Like, and neither does French. So
Spain.
Yeah, no, it's like Actually, the worst part is.
But it makes you wonder though, who came up with this description? Just like the Europeans are calling the Chinese and Japanese E's, and they had these E's. It's like, well, the Japanese were called Nippon, right? They didn't call themselves Japanese.
Well, dude,
right?
Germany
call themselves Chinese, so it's like
Germany.
German, yeah.
Take Germany, right?
Right.
Spanish and French. Okay, so in Spanish we call them Alemania.
Right.
French is Allemand. English is Germany. Right. And German, it's fucking Deutschland.
Yeah,
How the fuck do we? And there's a reason for it. It has to do with the Romans, but it's like, do we not have respect for these people and go, okay, we're gonna call you this.
We're gonna name you this. This is your name.
Whatever they want for it.
Like, who is this fucking person naming? Just like this whole Latinx thing. Like, where did this fucking come from? Like, who came up with Latinx? Like, someone's like, oh, we got Latinx. I'm like, what is that? A fucking X-Man? Latinx? Fucking...
That sounds pretty cool, actually. My thing is that if you wanted to make it,
sounds like an experiment.
Gender neutral. You just say Latin.
Right.
Done.
Latin.
Like, you don't need an X. It's done. It's neutral.
Right. Like, Spaniards don't consider themselves Latino, right?
But the U.S. immigration does. I'm serious. I'm fucking serious. I had a student, and she was really sweet lady. She was telling me when she went to go do some studies in the States, she goes down to immigration. She's Spanish. And goes down with her German friend who's also going to do, I think, in the same field or whatever. He does all of his paperwork. Oh, what do I have to do? Okay, you have to check off the box for European. Good. Then it's her turn. She fills out all the paperwork. Fills out European. They go, no, you can't. It has to be Latino. She's like, what are you talking about? I live in Europe. Spain's in Europe. No. You got to check off Latino. So that's where shit gets really wonky.
I stopped doing that a while ago. I just kept clicking other.
Yeah, but
when I was putting Eskimo Indian.
Yeah,
Because a friend of mine was doing that, and I was like, "Oh, I'm Eskimo Indian." Why not?
But that's why, a lot of people, a lot of Latinos appropriately got upset with Javier Bardem from the Spanish actor because he was saying he was Latino. But it's fucking U.S. immigration that does this shit.
Right.
So you're like, all right, so that's my category. There was an article some Spaniard wrote about how he found out when he moved to the States that he wasn't white.
Yeah.
Right. And actually, I grew up seeing my mother being disparaged because she had a thick accent.
Mm-hmm.
So I never felt like I was half white. I was like,
right,
whatever it is, I'm not fucking you guys. Stay away from me.
When my mom came from Colombia, even though she was light skinned, blonde hair, blue eyes, or green eyes, whatever you want to say, she came to college in the United States, didn't speak English. Because she didn't speak English, they put her in an all black college because this is during segregation. So she was getting it from both sides. She was getting discriminated by the whites in the South, and then she lived with a black family, that was raising her as a college student. She got along with them just fine, but there was certain girls in the college that were like, "Why is this white bitch here into this our college? Why are they letting this white Spanish person into our college? This college is for us, So you get it from both ways,
Oh yeah. Oh, that's the wild thing. But I don't think people internally know the shit that they push out.
Right.
Like, there's Sudanese people. If you're from Sudan, you're classified as white by U.S. immigration, or if you're Egyptian, you're classified as white.
Right.
Now, again, Egypt, like Brazil or other places, has a broad range of skin tones, right? And there's one guy who was Nubian Egyptian. So he kind of was my complexion. I think he's still alive. He checks off white because he was told to. Gets to the States, starts looking, going, actually, I should be categorized with them. And his bosses were like, no, you don't want to be with them. They're troublemakers. And he was in 60 Minutes. They interviewed him in 60 Minutes.
Wow.
Mike Wallace's dad interviewed him.
Wow.
Mike Wallace interviewed him. Chris Wallace is his son.
Right.
And same thing for Sudan. If you come from an Arabic-speaking country, and by the way, Sudan are like the blackest people on earth. Like black.
Right.
Categorized. So when people immigrate into our country, they're given these stupid categories, and then the rest of us are like, "The fuck's your problem? Why you think you're not black? Like, dude, you're blacker than me."
Right.
It's because of the shit that's been given to them on the way in.
It's colonialism.
It's colonialism. It's the wildest shit.
It's funny how Americans like to tell Spanish people speak English, but people were speaking Spanish in the Americas well before they were speaking English, and then they were speaking French after that. So, aside from the native tongues that were out here, the mother tongue of the native language, the first foreign tongues were Spanish, and then French, and then English, right? And then you had the Dutch in there too before the English as well.
Yeah.
Oh, you had the Dutch and the fucking Germans. A lot of languages were being spoken in this country well before English,
Oh yeah.
And it's not the Queen's English or the King's English, right? So we're speaking some fucked up.
Oh, and here's the part. Like,
English.
here's to add to your point.
We
never renamed the states that we took, the areas that we took from Mexico. It's still California. That's the actual, Florida.
Right. Florida, Colorado,
Miami,
New Mexico.
It's like,
Colorado, right?
It's such dumb shit. And people hang on to dumb shit, and they'll get more upset over the languages, over everything except the Epstein files.
Yeah, then they'll go to Chili's and eat like a taco or something, or like fucking Taco Bell. I need a burrito. It's like, granted, that's not legit food. That's crap. But
that is crap. That is total crap.
It's like Tex-Mex crap. But
Yeah, no, it's wild to me though. But that's why. So Spaniards might not consider themselves Latino, But they get categorized that way, which is fucking wild. And I've had students tell me, they've had to argue with professors.
Yeah.
Like, no, Spain is not in Mexico. Spain is in Europe.
Right.
And you're like, and this just goes to the quality of the education that we're dealing with.
A lot of ignorance.
A lot of ignorance. And ignorance in high levels.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when I had posted that thing about it's the well-educated who created racism, someone had said something to the effect of, who are these people? And, don't they know that all this is going to cause a revolution? I'm like, it hasn't in 400 years. Divide and rule works beautifully.
Divide and conquer, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That whole thing with those guys walking around there, they're doing the master's bidding. They're stormtroopers for the empire.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
it's never. It's crazy. We got that video. Let's play that video that you sent me. That was on X, right?
Oh yeah, that's fucking beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Ah! I don't have an account. Why is it blocking?
You know what? I can find it on X.
Yeah.
I'll find it on X. There's another one that
I deleted. I had my X account for a long time. I deleted it. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Can I continue? Let me see. Hold on. I think I'm making a new account. Fuck it. I'll play it. I'll delete it after.
No, I'll send it to you. There's the other one I sent you, but I'll reset it to you, and we can play that one instead for right now, and I'll find the other one. This one was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, because I deleted my account. I would have to make a new account to make that. All right.
Okay, I gotta reshare this with you.
While you're doing that, I'm going to play Jolly Roger, a little bit of his. So a lot of things were going on yesterday, July 4th, and this is one of them.
Go for it.
Running into the police. The Philadelphia police are here. This is not a permitted protest. We did not ask for permission. We did not get a permit. We just took the streets. And now the police are responding, obviously, to our presence. So far, they're not fucking with us.
This is the largest veteran-led action since the Vietnam backlash.
Fucking largest veteran-led action since Vietnam.
And it's not just us, it's community groups, there's PSL over there, there's labor organizers, trade unions. We should have been doing this 20 years ago. The next best time to start this is now.
Facts. It's time for us as a people to collectively get together, raise our voices, and raise hell.
No more fascists, no more war. No more fascists, no more war. This is what we're fighting for. This is what we're fighting for. We say no more fascists, no more war. This is what we're fighting for. No more fascists, no more war. This is what we're fighting for. This is what we're fighting for. No more fascists, no more wars. No more fascists, no more wars. This is what we're fighting for. This is what we're fighting for. Yeah, we gotta keep it moving, make some noise, make some noise. I know it's hot.
That was yesterday in Philadelphia. A lot of stuff was going on. And that was Jolly Roger. I don't know if you follow Jolly Good Roger.
Yeah, I've seen him off and on. I've seen him off and on.
I mean, and there was also this other thing with there was this major on the steps of Washington D.C. He was arrested for denouncing Trump
in uniform.
Which
is perfectly legal. He didn't say anything wrong. He didn't call him anything.
You cannot have a political opinion when you're serving in the military. So then he was arrested.
There was a military guy who actually came out and who was in the military. Oh gosh, what's his name? He's usually wears a baseball cap. I know that's very nondescript, but he actually talked about it. And he actually showed the actual law. It's like if you say anything that's derogatory towards the leadership or whatever, but you're perfectly within a certain range allowed to protest.
Right.
So it was actually very interesting. I would have shared it with you had I known that we were going to talk about that. But I did share with you the other two videos.
Send me the video. You sent it to me?
Yep, it's on your messenger. There's 2 of them.
Okay.
And I got them in the reels through Facebook, so it's easier for you.
How can we hate any speed? Is that the one?
Yeah, I show speed is pretty good. The one above we should do first because that one kind of ties
I
in.
love being white. That one.
Yeah, the
Okay.
white fried. Fuck, that's so
Yeah.
funny. That guy. Oh, that guy beautifully explains it. So I chose him because I'll explain it, but he's got all the little clippings and stuff, and beautiful, just beautiful. Made my weekend. I don't think I've seen anything quite so fucking funny on the internet in a damn long time. Like, imagine you create a page with just white people bitching about black people.
Right.
They come in, I think it was like 25,000 people that were initially in it,
Right.
ballooned it to 175,000 people. Then they're like, get the fuck out of here. They create a new one, and they're like, this is the new page. And then they show up again. It's hysterical, man. And then you have one clip that said, the guy doesn't go into this, but it says, the Asians have entered the chat. And another one's, the Mexicans have entered the chat.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's do this. Let's get a full screen over here.
Yeah, sure.
Give it the full treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's put the volume on. Hold on. I hate when it does that. It's like the volume.
Just goes off.
It just starts without the. Hold on a second. Where's the volume?
It's at the top.
Oh, you know what it is? I can't see because it's white on white.
No, I think it's the you have it there. It's the little
This here?
It's in the black at the top.
Oh, at the top. Oh.
So they tried to start a new Facebook.
Yeah.
We done took over these people's Facebook page. Yo, we took over these people's Facebook page, right? So they tried to start a new Facebook page, and they call up for the admins to please lock the group before we get in. But see what mine says. Join. They do gentrification. We do forced integration. This is rich. I'm having so much fun with this. Well, we taking these people's spaces over. Yeah, this is more fun than an amusement park.
I gotta share some of the comments actually with you. I'll share them, and then maybe we can pop up some of the things which are fucking hilarious. Let me see here. Yeah, so they took over both Facebook pages, which is hilarious. Basically a white supremacist site. Oh, by the way, there's one guy. So the new site, they were actually forcing people to show their pictures. So people are using AI to make themselves look white to get around the new restrictions. And I think it all started like this. Oh yeah, it started with it said on the page, how did the blacks get on here? Who let the blacks in? And then they just went from there. Is this hysterical? So maybe I'll show you these. These are much better. Why are black people on our thing? So if you put up the first one, then it goes into the whole Mexican thing too. It's just wild, totally wild, and the comments are hilarious. You see here, the comments are just wild. Did you put it up? Oh yeah, so they're getting through the restrictions, and here's the crazy part, right? These are some of the questions that they were like. And the answers. So if you show them one, this is, you know how sometimes on Facebook you have to go in to actually, and they ask you certain questions. Oh, do you like this? Do you like that? Well, if you go to the one that I just sent you, this is hysterical. So are you white? I am. Whatever through Jesus Christ. Are you proud of your heritage? Hell yeah. So they completely trolled this 2 pages. 2 pages. Why are the black people in this group? They're like reverse colonization. Mexicans have entered this. And I have to say that sometimes I think we think of things too harsh. we might think we might have to get a little bit on the violent side, but maybe we have to actually get a little bit more creative and a little bit more on our humorous side to push back. That humor sometimes might actually carry a prank could actually carry a lot more than getting all worked up and angry. It doesn't mean that you don't feel anger because of what they're doing, but I think it's more effective because I could tell you it just didn't hit Facebook. People were talking about it. They were talking about it on fucking like Twitter as well. It's all over social media and it's beautiful, you know. And I think that's probably one of the things we have to keep in mind, that we're so caught up in a very serious, and it's very, I mean, you get great testosterone, but whoever thought of this is a fucking genius. And I think we have to take a page out of their book, you know. Maybe we need to punk them in some way, and we have to just think very creatively outside of the box. But I loved it, man. There was one guy that called it Color Nation, where instead of colonization, we're coloring nation or whatever. It was just brilliant. Oh man, it's just awesome. So anyway, that was my fun. Oh, all right. I can't hear you, but nope. Maybe you shut yourself off now.
I shut myself off so that people don't hear me crunching. And then I forgot. Here we go. This is for FIFA. Here we go, right? This is
I Show Speed.
What are you saying? Like, what are you even saying, bro? What are you saying? What are you saying? Where you from?
Every other day I'm wondering
Free you! Free you! Free Palestine!
just be competent.
How this, bro? Have both. Have both. That's $20,000 right there, bro. That's 20,000 years. Stay safe, bro. Seriously, right? Stay safe.
Well, the first part of the clip is the yard.
No, take it. I can't
Yo, hey, yo, just fill up the Free Palestine in the chat. What are you saying? What are you saying?
So yeah, that was the clip I was going to talk to you about, how he's getting harassed by an Argentine fan who's telling him
he's an actual player. Who does he play for?
No, he didn't play for anybody. He was a video game streamer. Very popular young man.
This is the guy you were talking about earlier, yeah.
Yeah, I was telling you about him. A lot of the young people 18, you know, younger than us know who iShow is. He's done some good stuff. And he's getting harassed in the States by an Argentine fan.
It looked like he was living the life of Jesus there, giving to the poor, to the sick, right?
He's an interesting character, you know.
Seems like he's a good person, you know. Yeah. I find it interesting when a lot of people are, you know, I'm not assuming that the Argentinians are Christian, but I'm not going to assume.
Come on now.
But I mean, the specific people that were harassing him. Mm-hmm. But I'm not gonna. But I always find it funny, like, you know, that people don't like you when you're being good. You know.
Yeah. Well,
you know,
they were, because he was cheering for Cabo Verde in the game, but she's telling him to go back home.
Right. I'm
like, he's American. You're Argentinian that flew in to see a game in America. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Right.
I'm like, what?
Fuck. This is a little backwards.
Yeah, but you know, have you seen their president?
Oh yeah, he looks like ridiculous.
He looks like if Mad Magazine did a porno version of Wolverine.
Oh my god, he's like Donald Trump's midget twin brother.
Oh, fucking limp, man. Just he has. I think I've told you this. He has a dog that he cloned.
Oh, I said I offended somebody. We lost somebody. I said Donald Trump's midget twin brother. Oh,
midget twin brother.
Don't make fun of midgets. Just lost another person. Sorry. Well,
We're gonna lose them all.
I offended someone. My bad. Continue.
Yeah. So he He's just a strange guy. He had his dog cloned. His dog called Conan. He gives rock concerts. Argentina is like not doing very well. I mean, they're eating donkey meat in a country that's known for its beef. I
Right.
mean, and I'm sure people out there, well, you can become vegetarian. Beside the point.
Yeah. Yeah.
He got rid of their labor laws, so now they can't. They can get paid in food instead of not in money,
Right.
and they can work like 12 hours straight. Like there's because he's a crazy libertarian, and on top of it, he's a huge supporter of Israel. And it's interesting because they're showing I Show Speed, who's been a big supporter of Palestine, and he
Yeah.
hasn't hit it at all. So there's that. But I
Yeah.
thought I'd point that out because it's kind of like the World Cup soccer thing, and the racism sort of merges into the 250th. Here's a black man, a black American young man, being told by an Argentinian to go home in his fucking own home.
Yeah. I'm telling
Wild.
you, man.
Wild.
It just shows you how deep and ignorant hate is,
Yeah.
Hatred is ignorance. It really is. Especially when it comes to this concept of race. There is no race. We're one species. We're the human race.
Well, I think it's two things.
I think moving forward, we have to just stop talking about race. It's almost like you're playing into their game. You got to stop playing their game as.
Well, you're leading me to what I was going to say, which was it's ignorance for the person who absorbs it, who usually is from the poorer classes.
Yeah.
From the higher classes, it's a manipulative tool. And we have to start understanding that the wealthy created it as a means to divide and keep us from going, yeah, it's those fuckers. So we keep split up that way, and I think that's what we have to understand. Like Jefferson is one of the founders of eugenics. He was an educated man. He wasn't ignorant. They were trying to find ways to justify why they were making so much fucking money.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the poor.
What you see today too. What you see right now too, with all these Bezos and all these guys and the Tesla dude, whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Space. Yeah, and back then, back in with the robber barons, they're the ones who funded. There was a professor, forget his name, but it was a professor who was teaching lectures on survival of the fittest. He was like some obscure professor. One, I don't know if it was Rockefellers or wherever, they heard his lectures. They're like, this guy's great. We need to promote him because we need to justify why we're getting all this money.
Right.
So we have to see it as a hustle, but not in the way that people think like, oh, Black Lives Matter. No. It's at the top of the pyramid, keeping the rest of the pyramid intact.
Right.
And the ignorant adopt it. Meanwhile, Jefferson's raping this poor black woman.
Yeah.
Sally Hemings. So
did they make a movie about that, like as a romance film? Like
they made tons of movies about that. She was like 14.
Yeah, it's like that's another thing. You have these stories about these, like the story of Pocahontas, which was a Disney cartoon. That chick was 12 years old.
Yeah, I know. They make her look like she's 24.
Right. It's like a baby. She was the Disney audience demographic when she was like this guy in his 40s who were like fucking.
She's like 24. She didn't even marry John Smith.
Yeah, it was another John.
Other guy.
Yeah.
John Smith was just a dude there who apparently was not a good-looking guy.
Right. That's crazy. This whole thing of them thinking they were gods and all that. Like, no, they stunk. They were putting incense on them because they fucking smelled, It's like they were washing them and bathing them. It's like, all these poor homeless people, we need to help them up. Like, oh, they're treating us like gods.
And it's wild because you read the
no, bro. You need a bar of soap.
You read the accounts, right, of wherever they go to, like Asia, same shit, right? Like, you guys stink. They get to Africa, yo, dude, you stink. Get to the Americas. Yo, dude, they stink. Now, here's the thing to keep in mind, because sometimes people say that Europeans didn't know how to bathe and all this shit. That's not necessarily true. They did. And let's say why. The Romans were they loved bathing.
Right.
But it was during the Black
As
Death.
much as they loved orgies, right?
Yeah, there's that too. They like to have their fun, you know. You were Zeus's child. Oh, who's your dad? Zeus. Yeah. Party. Right. But they loved to bathe. I mean, this is part of that's why they have Roman baths. The problem was with the plague.
Right.
When the plague hit, some fucking idiot doctor said, yeah, I think it's transmitted by the water. So that's when they started going, shit, I'm not bathing. I don't want the fucking plague. So they would have a thing called dry bathing. So it was like a powder that you put on yourself. Yeah. And Louis the 14th, in his lifetime, he went from that. But when he was old, he was taking baths. So just in his lifetime, how it changed. So they weren't always like that.
Right.
Keep in mind, but they kind of came up with some really stupid ideas.
Polluted. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's why I like you, Miguel. You're a wealth of knowledge. You know, just
Thanks, man. I try.
you bring some je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi.
You bring it to the table, man.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have this fella here. You know,
Frederick Douglass.
Yes, Frederick Douglass.
The 4th of July to a Negro.
Yes. Yep. The rich inheritance of justice, liberty, prosperity, and independence bequeathed by your fathers, assured by you, not me. This 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice. I must mourn. You know, it's like, why do we celebrate the 4th of July?
I don't.
You know, the oppression, like, oh yes, thank you for taking over our islands and dominating us and dictating to us the terms and not being able to profit off of our natural resources, but give them to you and get a pittance in return.
It's kind of like the comic book industry.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
See that one coming. But yes.
Columbus Comics.
Yeah.
Because we'll exploit the shit out of you.
Very true. You know, I was talking to this comic book artist, Trevor. I've known him for quite a number of years, and I was sharing a script with him that I wrote 15 years ago. And he's like, well, why didn't you submit this to Marvel and DC? I was like, well, I did show it to an editor, but they made this kind of racial comment. And then after that, I was just like, no thanks. It's kind of like, you know, it's just like
racial comment. Do you mean like towards Latinos?
Yeah, basically. Like, you know,
wow.
I'm just like, I used to do submissions all the time, but everything I submitted was always rejected. And I wouldn't say 100% stolen, but I would say 90% of everything I submitted to Marvel and DC was later published, you know, later used. I mean, I was even talking about that Dead Man, like how they use like this, the whole Hindu thing, like even though Ramakrishna is not a real Hindu character made up. And when I wrote a proposal for a Dead Man script for Vertigo, when Vertigo was, the editor actually approached me and my team about coming up with concepts for Vertigo because they were running out of ideas. And I was like, and I wrote this whole proposal about bringing the real Hindu pantheon into the Dead Man comics. And then all of a sudden you had all this explosion of DC comic books with the Hindu pantheon. And then you had one Marvel comic book come up with the Hindu pantheon. All these stories, you know, they didn't give me a call.
But it's probably because the
story that came out was stupid. It was like ended up being about string theory, and mine was more along the lines of the Crisis. Like it was basically they were taking Boston Brand and moving him to the Vertigo universe. And they didn't want to be the same guy. So I basically did this second death story where he goes through a midlife crisis and basically meets other multiverse versions of himself. Now, what's funny is that the new Dead Man series that just came out has exactly that. You know, they have a little bit of the Hindu thing. They have some of the Hindu demons in there, but it's all surface. It's not deep. It's like very superficial. And then you got
Sounds about white.
yeah, and then these different versions of him, or they made him almost like the mask, or like Jim Carrey, where like every scene he's in a custodian suit or a suit, or it's like this is stupid. But you know, yeah, it's like it's old hat. Why don't you give a person of color a chance so that we can add meaning to your fucking stories?
Well, because a lot of they're all related, or there's unconsciously gripped to white people. I mean, it's a very white industry. I'll give you like I used to submit all the time. I just gave up. I didn't care anymore. I enjoyed making my own stories and stuff. And for those who might not know, years ago, and I am going to finish this series, Samurai Elf. I came out with it. It was like
I got a copy of that.
180 pages. The second one was 210 pages. But I remember I had just gotten into heavy metal. I did this short story called Bed Bugs. Got into heavy metal, which is a big deal, right? Like to get into heavy metal, like even if it's I got 4 pages or 6 pages or something in heavy metal, it's a big deal for an artist to get in that.
You just rebooted that magazine again too.
Yeah, I know. I'm not bothering with it because I have this thing where I was very fortunate to meet the VP, and he needed a translator. And unfortunately, a lot of things work this way. And Howard was an awesome guy. Howard, actually, I remember being on the San Diego floor, and I was like looking through the magazines. Who was standing next to me is the guy, Kevin Gravier from Underworld.
Right.
So he's just like, hey, that's Kevin. I'm like, yeah. And then Howard comes over because he was attending the thing. We start talking. And he's like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, I'm a translator. And I was asking him if he ever needed any work as a translator from Spanish to English. He's like, yeah. He asked me my rates. I told him the rates that I had for NBM. And the NBM table is not too far away. And Howard, because he is from Brooklyn, he has that Brooklyn accent, yells out, Peter's a cheapskate. You're paying him how much? This is the NBM guy, right? NBM.
Wow.
So I started translating with them, and I got my story in, right? Great. So professional day at the New York Comic Con comes along. And I figured, well, now that I got like heavy metal under my belt, maybe, I can build on this.
Right.
So I wanted to go over to see if maybe I could get Samurai Elf through Dark Horse. And, professional day, it's just professional people.
Right.
Right. So I got in, I had my publication, heavy metal. It wasn't just me publishing me, someone else published me, which I think had a run of 100,000 copies, which is nothing to sneeze at.
Right.
So I get over to the Dark Horse table. This white dude with a Hawaiian shirt, which was always a bad sign.
Right, right.
Walk over and like, yeah, I just want some information on who I would contact at Dark Horse. I wasn't even saying, here, take my book, publish it. Dude looks over at me, sort of sizes me up a little bit, and he's like, all right, come over here. I think I know what I'm going to tell you. That's what comes out of his mouth. And then I show him the book, and he's looking at it, and he's like, oh, right? Like with your samurai, it's like, all right, well, I don't have any business cards or anything. It's like, oh, that's cool. I got my notebook. I'll write down your name and your address. I can contact you. And he's like, all right.
I don't know where I live.
Yeah, exactly. I never contacted him.
No, but that's just a racist bullshit. Like if you're, it is, the comic book industry is very white supremacist in its own way. I won't say that they're outwardly racist. They're like,
dude, white dudes and
I would say they're racist. They're racist, but they're hidden racist. These are like liberal racist, I would say.
Passive aggressive racist.
Passive aggressive, which is worse. Now, a lot of them, surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, We shouldn't be surprised. But a lot of these guys who were like 80s and 90s liberals that were secret racists, right, are now outward Trump supporters today.
Yeah. But meanwhile, I'll give you another example. Even though things didn't go quite that well with Diamond, the guy that got me into Diamond was a white Southern dude.
Mm-hmm.
He walked, hey, this looks like a pretty good book. We could carry it.
Right.
So here I got some East Coast or West Coast dude.
Right.
I thinks he's liberal. The other guy's a Southern white dude for all and everything.
Right.
You know, and it didn't end up going great.
It didn't follow the stereotype.
So yeah, I'm not surprised that they're doing any of this. And when they say, oh, everything's woke, it isn't woke. Woke is about being aware of your environment. It's
Right.
that it's fucking hollow.
Right.
You know, and people sense it. So yeah, that's my
It's not genuine, yeah.
And from that moment, I said, fuck it. I'm not going to bother with these people, you know?
Exactly.
And sadly, most people don't understand. As a black artist, or as a person who's an artist who is black,
Mm-hmm.
you always have a certain level of suspicion. Like when you first meet someone who is non-melanated, like, are they going to say something stupid, racist to me?
They always do.
They always do. And it's like not the greatest feeling to have.
I've always heard guys saying, "Oh, I'm not racist." People say I'm racist because
That giveaway.
Trump, and then they'll make a racist joke like within 10 minutes. Like, oh, there you go.
There you go. So I stayed away from it completely. And I used to submit to Marvel when I was like 15.
Right.
I had this idea, and I don't really give a shit if Marvel rips it or not. The idea was that the Black Panther was like this, not a super spy, but was running a network, and his main enemy was a Red Skull who was trying to pillage Africa of its resources.
Right.
And the Black Panther had like mechs and all sorts of stuff, like exoskeleton armor and shit, sort of upgrade it, like a Ghost in a Shell type thing.
Right.
And because I felt that the ultimate enemy of Black Panther would be the Red Skull.
Absolutely.
You know, white supremacist.
Mm-hmm.
But they're never going to do anything that edgy.
Yeah, they always put like Doctor Doom, anything Fantastic Four related.
You know,
MODOK or whatever. Yeah, you know, they've lost their edge too with these films. It seemed like they were really going deep with that Captain America thing, and then it kind of just fell off and it became blah. Then
they dominated for how many years? 15?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty good run.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that was longer than the Ninja Turtles and the Crow and the Shadow, and by the time you got to Batman and Robin, I think DC ruined it for the superhero movie genre. I think their last Batman movie, the Batman 5, that was with George Clooney and that clown who played Robin, I forget his name.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the guy from Beverly Hills 90210, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that killed comic book movies for like over a decade.
Well, you had X-Men around the time.
Well, X-Men was 2000, right? But that last Batman movie, I think was like 97, right? Or 95. So it killed movies, you know?
Well, it's kind of good because 99, you got The Matrix.
Yeah, but The Matrix was...
Meaning that it gave room for something
by comic book artists. It was by comic book people, but it wasn't a comic book movie, really. If you think about it, philosophical.
Yeah. Well, what I meant was, it's a good thing that kind of subsided a little bit because it gave a little room for something like The Matrix.
Yes, that's true. Very true. And then
Dark City is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
People don't talk about Dark
City. It was great. Equilibrium, you know. Mm-hmm.
There's some really good late 1990s films.
Oh yeah, tons, man.
Came and went, and now we're kind of dealing with
Entropy. Was from the 90s, which was hilarious. It was about a director and a storyboard artist trying to make his first movie. And then you had the American Dream, the American movie, like those two nerdy guys that were trying to make that really terrible movie, that documentary. You ever seen that one? That's
No, I haven't. I saw trailers, but I never sat down and
that
watched
shit
it.
was fucking awful. It was so bad it was good. It was that's basically. But then you had Clerks, which was Kevin Smith, right? But you had all these Clerks. People like to point to Clerks like, oh, he's like what kind of brought about comics back to the mainstream, but not really. It was always there.
Yeah, it's always there.
You know,
Blade.
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 Yeah, and then Sony somehow like wants to claim the mantle of the Spider-Man movie, saying that it was Blade that really brought back the Marvel into the universe.
What turned me off from the, and I still enjoy them, but what turned me off from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man was when one of the because it's two brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
The director said, "There's no way Peter Parker could be a genius and be from Queens."
What the fuck?
And I was looking at my TV screen and I'm like, this classist motherfucker. Like, what do you mean you can't be? We don't know where geniuses come from all walks of life. The fuck? So that turned me off because that's why they said that they didn't do the web shooters. They did it where he, shot out from his wrists.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, no, Peter Parker, because he was smart. The thing that and I love, my favorite character has always been, well, when I was a kid it was Superman, but my brother hated Superman.
Mm-hmm.
He would always say, yeah, Spider-Man killed Superman. And I was like 4, he's 14. I cried. I'm like, no. And so I got into Spider-Man though. But I love Spider-Man because he's like a person who doesn't really get to meet his full potential in life because of the economic circumstances. I think he is more of a quintessential American working class hero than Batman. And always to my heart, because here's a guy, it taught us how the press lies too.
Right.
With J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, the yellow press.
Smart guy, but he doesn't have the money to go to college, or he has to drop out. And I think that speaks more to us than many of the other characters.
Exactly.
Spidey's tops to me.
That's true. Batman's a rich guy who fights the elite. I mean, fights the crazy, insane, and and then puts them back into the mental institution. He doesn't fight the corrupt governors or the corrupt police force. He'll fight cops, working class people, but he won't fight the structure.
No, he actually helps keep the structure.
Yeah, he maintains it. Yeah,
maintains it.
Well, you can't kill him. You're gonna make money off of them in prison.
That's why I like that Dark Knight Returns with the Joker, because the Joker, in a way, erodes the whole role of Batman's. Like, he did more to clean out Gotham,
right?
Fucking Batman. That scene with the money,
right.
I'm like, holy shit, they're gonna call this director a communist,
right?
When he burns the money, he says, "You know what the problem with you guys are?"
And then you had the shooting too in the movie theater.
Oh wow, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Shit.
And then you had that guy and that cosplay couple that actually murdered a guy on, what was that? It was like a dating platform. It wasn't Craigslist. It was some dating app that they met up with him.
Mm-hmm.
The guy, I guess he wanted like a threesome, and then they literally tortured and murdered him in a hotel room, dressed as Harley Quinn and the Joker.
Wow.
Like, they try to suppress that one. But it's like the Joker has inspired a lot of like psychos out there, so.
Yeah. I like the Joker though. But
I like the Joker. I think he's a smart character. But it's like lower level chakra readers.
I think
it's like,
to write the Joker, you have to be very clever.
Yeah, you have to be very, I would say, politically aware of stuff. I mean, in the 80s, when the death of Robin, people forget that he ends up working for the Ayatollah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Superman takes him out at the fucking UN. It's like, what the fuck?
But the Joker would always bring up certain grievances where you're like, yeah, he's got a point.
Yeah.
Right?
Joker is like the fucking Epstein, some dude that came out of nowhere, reaches the fucking heights of rich people, and is a criminal mastermind. That's basically, and always gets off, and fakes his death.
He would say in spiritual traditions, he's the agent of chaos.
An agent, yeah, yes.
And Batman would be the agent of order.
Yeah, it's like Ikome or Coyote, right? It's like,
So he's actually, it's interesting because at the end of Dark Knight Returns, there's a lot of weird esoteric stuff. Like when he captures the Joker and he's hanging upside down, he has one leg bent, which is kind of like the tarot card for the Fool.
Yeah.
Right. Which I was like, that's pretty clever, if you're paying attention to it. I didn't like the one with Bane all that much because he really shat on Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah. Exactly.
But, I mean, I'm not the one creating it, so I don't have to worry about like, oh, what did I do that for? That's his movie. If I did that, I'd be upset with myself.
Yeah, for real. I mean, there's another video about 52 people that died in ICE custody, and there was an actual funeral procession for that and protest. So we have that. Let's take a look at that real quick. Let me go back. Rewind. Oh, let's see if that works. Each coffin represents someone that died.
No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. We get there together, never get there at all. Oh, you will not erase them. Freedom with every breath. Give us liberation. We're done with fear. Give us liberation. We're done with fear.
Good.
So I have a question. I wonder if they're Quakers.
Yeah, well, it could be.
The Quakers, for a lot of what is said about white America, Quakers have been a very good positive force for good.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the Quakers, aside from Nixon and a few people who are Quakers, right? But overall,
the story is their Facebook page. Social justice advocacy platform used for stories to push people out of blank. It doesn't finish the sentence. But yeah, I think about the Black community, how many shootings that we have, how many like injustices of police doing stuff. Notice there was no cops there, right? No one's getting attacked.
If any of us showed up,
yeah. So it's a peaceful protest, and it's just like no kings. There's a lot of police there, presence, but they weren't attacking people, spraying people, macing people. Why is it when people are peacefully protesting of color, we're getting maced for protesting or beaten up or arrested, dragged to the streets, prosecuted, fingerprinted? But white folks, when they're having their protests, that doesn't happen unless you're doing something outrageously crazy like vandalism or throwing bricks or smashing a street, and even sometimes they're like, hey, cut it out. Don't do that. Don't go there.
Yeah.
That is the divide in America. God bless these people for doing what they did to bring the awareness of that. I know there's a lot of people who are, claim to be undocumented because there is no warrant for their arrest that are being, arrested. A lot of them are citizens. But it just on this 250th anniversary.
The nun. Did you hear about the? She was Nigerian.
Yeah,
She got
they
arrested
arrested her.
by.
She's a black nun.
She's a black nun. Now, I'm not surprised for anyone who saw the story and was like, "Oh my God, they ICE detained a nun."
They probably thought she was Muslim.
You know the history of what our government has supported and funded and
Right.
trained in the rest of the Americas.
Right.
In I think it was Chile or Argentina. It was one of those two countries where they had the death flights, and they would throw nuns out of the windows. And it was while this guy by the name of Negroponte, he was actually part of Bush's administration. He actually took care of the whole thing, and he was one of the guys dealing with Iraq. But in the 80s and 70s and 80s, so our government's done some really nasty stuff. We're just getting to see what's under the hood for this now. But yeah, I wasn't too surprised about the not getting detained. I'm like, oh, here we go again. It's what we do in South America. You know.
Yeah. It's totally crazy, man.
It's a shame.
It is a shame. It's a shame. I'm just like, geez, Louise. It's like, you know, I don't know. When's it gonna end? Is it gonna end? Are we trapped? Is this our trap? Are we like stuck on stupid with this that we're never gonna get out of this endless hole, you know, like of repeat, you know?
I think it's two things. I think I'm not fatalistic, so I don't think we're destined to. I only think that we continue it because we don't want to put the work to stop the skip.
Right.
So the work requires, it's like the people who rule us have a game plan, but they really don't know how to change the game plan if the game changes.
Right.
The pieces change. We forget about the game every 3 months. If we're lucky, it's usually every 3 hours now, thanks to the algorithm. So it's kind of like we're like, da-da-da, squirrel. So if we can remember, enough of us collectively, I think we could get out of it. But it requires some effort on our part. You know, so I'm not fatalistic. It's not necessarily like I'm being positive. I don't know if we're going to do it because things are comfortable to a great degree. Many people are arguing over things like PlayStation right now is getting rid of physical games, which is a stupid thing to do because a lot of the movies and things that we have that have survived is because of piracy or someone had a copy in a movie theater. There's movies. Have you ever heard of the movie Wicker Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the movie.
So the current copy of
That's the original Eyes Wide Shut.
The original Eyes Wide Shut, but the current version that we have of that movie is not the original theatrical release.
Oh no, I'm talking about the one from the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah, the one from the 70s. That's
Yeah,
not the original copy.
Oh really?
There are
the
4 versions.
One as well.
The original version is buried somewhere or burnt. It's gone.
Really? Where's it? From?
Yeah. So
is it French?
It was English, and it just got Arista. I think it was Arista that took over, or whatever company took over this company, and they were just tossing out like a lot of these films. Some of them ended up getting buried somewhere in like what became like a highway in England. So this one director had been looking. The director who directed it spent years trying to get the original version back. Never did. And the only reason that we have the version that we have today is because someone had a copy. You know, it wasn't because the studio kept it. They didn't really think it was all that important. So this idea of getting rid of physical things, all right, we go all digital. But what if their hard drives collapse? Then we're out like hundreds of thousands of books, movies, things that we can't go back to. It's a loss for our civilization, you know. So there's a lot of things, but that also works into the amnesia. I think that's what keeps things going in the skipping record. Who benefits the powerful?
Right, exactly.
You know.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, you got a good point there. It's fucking crazy.
It's I'm gonna sound totally like a pinko, but I'm gonna go ahead and be a pinko, right?
It's like Archie Bunker.
Yeah, a pinko, right?
I
For
heard
those of you
as a
who are
kid.
young, that means commie.
Yeah.
Capitalism's built on quicksand. And I'll say this because
Good on paper.
What's that?
It's good on paper.
No, not even like if you
Like when you read the manifesto, it's like, oh, it sounds pretty good.
like
Practice, it's like, yeah, it didn't work out well.
well,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't understand that communism wasn't something that you just do. No one has done communism with the exception of maybe the Iroquois. It is a process of moving into a classless society. So Stalin knew he wasn't a communist. He was moving towards communism. That's why the Chinese say we're ideology-wise communists, but we're socialists moving towards communism. It's an evolutionary type thing. Because we're not allowed to talk about that. You know, we kind of look at, communism. But the problem with capitalism is this. We will not be Rome. I can walk by and see aqueducts that technically still work from 2,000 years ago.
Right.
Could you imagine any of our shit working 100, 75, 25 years? All the shit falls apart. I have these earphones, right? I bought these earphones off of Amazon years ago. They're falling apart.
Right.
You know, so how do we build a long-lasting civilization when everything is like short-term gain? You can't, and it's not even like any of our shit.
Right, exactly.
Work. It's just the logical. You go, yeah, you can't. So and then on top of that, we forget how we make half this shit. So we're forgetting it. Things are falling apart. How do we build something that's like an aqueduct that lasts 2,000 years, that's permanent? It's not conducive to that. So this whole idea of going to Mars with this current system, now I'm not saying that it has to be communism either,
Right.
but our current system will not allow us to have a long-lasting civilization. It's impossible.
Yeah, exactly. Very true. Not with just so much hatred in the world. To just, I mean, if you can't have equality for people in Palestine, Gaza, Lebanon, without stealing land, Venezuela, Cuba,
Yeah.
Darfur, Sudan, it's like, can we stop stealing other people's resources? Why don't we bring them to the table and say, hey, we need these resources.
We'll pay you.
Negotiate something. We'll pay you. Let's be mutually beneficial and build together. No, they don't want that. They just want to take shit.
Well, look at.
They're like, they'll call you a terrorist when you don't fucking bend the knee.
Yeah. Because you actually want something for your people and you want to make sure they're treated right. And right now with the earthquake in Venezuela, I've been seeing rumors that children are being taken and trafficked.
A lot of trafficking stuff. Even yesterday, they found 16 kids in a house down south. It's like, what the fuck? Not down south. It was Ohio, I think. 16 children found in a house. And the police.
Sometimes it's like down south.
The police, it's still like in the middle of fucking nowhere. The police were going there to basically, they didn't say who, but they basically had a warrant to search the premises for something else. They didn't even know there were kids there. It was like an accident, like a Bob Ross happy accident that they found these. They said the 16 kids were in a basement surrounded by a pile of their own shit.
What the fuck's wrong with people, man?
From ages 6 months.
Yeah.
To 6 years old. Like, where did they get these kids from? And they're all dirty and filthy. It's like,
were they from? Probably the ICE detention centers.
Yeah, missing children, right?
Missing children. Like right now, the earthquake in Venezuela, they're saying that's a treasure trove for child traffickers.
Yeah, the child trafficking is out of control.
And who are they going to? This is the next question. Like, we know the kids are being taken.
Yeah.
But the next question, who are they going to?
And this is another thing. We can go to airports today, and you don't need a passport for your child, really, unless
Really?
you're doing an international flight.
That's probably why.
You know, from
Yeah.
nation to nation, your kid, you don't have to prove that child is yours in the airport.
Wow.
It's like why don't our kids have IDs?
Wow.
That's still a thing. Like I could take a baby and say it's mine. You know, with with some girl and say, hey, oh, I just gotta.
You got a ding.
I got
Ding, ding.
text. It dings on my computer too. Let's see. We got Alan Dorson says, "Good morning, fellas." Good morning, Alan. Thank you.
Good morning.
And
You
Tom
scared off a lot of people.
And Tom says he's still in bed. So good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Tom.
You know, and then I just got a text. Let's see.
Yeah, no, it's sad. But you know, the other thing is going to places like Mars. First of all, it doesn't have gravity. Or its gravity is very weak. So it would physiologically change us, so we wouldn't be able to come back to Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to terraform the shit out of that or create a magnetic field would be crazy, because not having a magnetic field means you're going to get more like radiation. There's a whole host of problems, but just getting there, being in a tin can for about 6 months or a year,
right? Exactly.
You'd have to get along.
Exactly.
That's the other problem, right?
This nation's so big that it's just scary that people can just get abducted like that. Like, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's the part where it kind of cracks me up when people are like, oh, we're going to be like Nazi Germany and we're going to have a dictator. And I've given it some thought. I'm like, country's too fucking big.
It's too big.
Like, I mean, Russia had it, but Russia is a little different. I would say it's a little different. Because most of it's usually fucking cold as fuck.
Yeah.
But how many police, how many military people do we have? 2 million to police 347 million? Good fucking luck. But we police ourselves.
Right.
So they got it lapped up, man. They're like, they don't have to do anything. They'll do it themselves. Yeah. That's why I think the whole digital ID thing is just pure laziness. You don't need to do anything. You can find my IP address off the computer. I pay my bill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then talking about digital shit, Aaron Brockovich, right? Bronovich, whatever.
Aaron Brockovich, yeah.
Brockovich, like broccoli. We're up against forces that have all the money in the world.
She's right.
On our battle against the data centers. Yeah. I mean, if they're building these data centers in secret, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're building one over here, because it's funny. There was always reports on different news channels about sounds in the middle of the night. This weird noise. What is that? What is that? And here it was happening too. And always at 6 a.m. it cuts off like clockwork. Every night you hear some sort of construction for the last few years. I live off the Hudson River. And then now they're saying that those are the sounds of the construction of the data centers. Like,
well, you know, those are getting robbed now.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know they're robbing the data centers? They're being constructed.
Good.
So they rob them of the copper. They rob them of all the hard drives and all that shit.
Yeah, good.
So
they should be destroyed.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know this, but the Midwest has a huge water crisis.
Yeah.
Their water reserve is down to like 1%.
Because we're not as smart as the Chinese that are using ocean water. They built their data centers in the ocean.
They only have 500.
You know,
we have 5,000 data centers.
You know, and ours are using fresh drinking water. Hello, stupid. 70% of our body is water. We actually need that to live.
to grow crops.
To grow crops, food. You know. And they design them in such a way so that it's not even with the ecosystem where the water doesn't get recycled back up, that it gets trapped. It's like
they don't give it. Again, it goes back to that capitalism thing.
We just arrest these zillionaires, billionaires.
Well, I think that's why they have their bunkers. They know that something stupid, disastrous is going to happen. And it's not going to be, well, it could be nuclear war. I'm not going to take that off the table. But whatever else might
South
happen, they're going to
Lebanon,
run.
you had those 2 bombs. They said they were like equal to Hiroshima go off, and nobody covered it.
Wow.
And that was just this past week. Like,
Wow.
it's like no one's talking about this. 2 Hiroshimas went off in South Lebanon. That's why everyone's criticizing Lebanon. It's like, oh, they gave up the fight. Oh, they're going to sell out Hezbollah. They got 2 giant bombs dropped on them. They're like, we can't do this anymore.
And you can't trust the media. Like that book, The Devil's Chessboard, really showed how the New York Times and the Washington Post and even some of the alternate media like Mother Jones were pretty much in the CIA pocket. Like they'd pass stories about, oh, Patrice Lumumba. Mother Jones didn't do this, but Washington Post and New York Times did. Patrice Lumumba is a dictator and all this shit. And they smeared him. So you can't really trust it because sure, they might do a correction decades later.
Right.
But shit's already passed.
Right.
So I don't know. But in the end, it's always about, oh, the Russians made us do it. Oh, it was the Cubans who made us do it. It's like, no. You did it yourself. Own it.
Right. Exactly, man. It's totally crazy. It's like, Al Jazeera finally broke this story, but they weren't even talking about it when it happened. It's just like, this is South Lebanon. Like, this is look at that. It's scary. At least. South Lebanon. A few days ago, some people thought it looks too much like Hiroshima. Just to remind you that the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Was named at the time the Jewish bomb. Really? History always repeats itself at a simple reason. The protagonists are the same. So Israel's dropping a damn bomb on freaking Lebanon. Courtesy of the United States, our tax dollars paid for that, And
see, the rest of the world sees.
I wouldn't call it Jewish bomb personally. I would call it Zionist bomb, or the American Zionist bomb because it's our money. It's the American Zionist movement,
Well, there was a story,
I'll
share it with you next week, that Mossad was spying on a lot of the born-again Christian pastors. So they have a little mess. But it makes sense. It is their base, technically, the evangelicals, but they were spying on them.
Yeah, dude, it's so crazy.
It's sad. It's sad.
Sad. That's why we read comics.
Well, yeah, that too.
Somebody lost me, offended somebody, we depressed somebody. Sorry, I apologize. Someone else dropped off. Yes. Yeah, it's dark. These are dark topics, right?
Dark times.
People like their comics dark. I started drinking my coffee black. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I enjoy sometimes when white supremacist pages get trolled. I think it's fantastic. I think there's something to be said there. I think that the leadership, though, is so far removed. Like yesterday, I think it was the funeral for the Khomeini, the one that we assassinated. Apparently, Trump was shot.
Apparently oppressing them. They're all like weeping and celebrating his.
I'm like,
that doesn't look like they're being oppressed.
If we didn't interfere with them in the first place by reinstalling the Shah back in the 50s,
right,
none of this shit would have happened. We wouldn't be in this position right now. But we keep, on the one side, some of us think that we're actually creating democracies.
I know.
It's never fucking happened.
How foolish.
On the other side, there's the scammers going, yeah, we're going to fucking get what we want. Yeah, tell them it's democracy. You think that's going to work? Yeah, I think it's going to work. All right. Hey, man, it's democracy. Really? Yeah, we're going to do that. And then they pontificate and people go with it. So.
Yeah, it's the Mad Max is coming. Now we understand. How did the world get like that?
We listen to Mad Men to get to Mad Max.
Yeah, for real, man. Oh, really? Any other reels you got for us today, or any comics you want to?
No, I was just finishing up. I finished that book, The Devil's Chessboard, which I haven't started it. Well, I am currently reading another book, usually when I travel, which is Men of Tomorrow, which is about the comic book industry and how it forms, which is a great book. It actually kind of weirdly coincides with The Devil's Chessboard. Only because in the Devil's Chessboard, they're talking about how they're smearing all the New Deal into Democrats and all the clamping down and the anti-American committee stuff. And on the other book, you're reading about how they're clamping down on comics because it's creating all these kids that are delinquents and stuff through the crime stories. And it's the same era, right? And I don't think we've kind of come to understand that as much as we look to the Chinese and go, oh, the cultural revolution they had where they purged all these people, guess what? We had that. It was called the Red Scare. We blacklisted, we ruined people's careers, we jailed people, we deported people because of what they believed in, as opposed to openly challenging it and seeing if it was a good or a bad idea, right? And so my thing is that you get to sort of see, like, we shouldn't be standing up so high and mighty, like we're some sort of like minister on a Sunday morning going, hey, you, I see that splinter in your eye. I'm going to have a log, but you got a splinter, right? Throw a little bit of that biblical stuff into there.
Right.
So it's been pretty good. But since I put down The Devil's Chessboard, I've been trying to absorb a lot of what is in it because it gives you a much more complete perspective of the JFK assassination on a holistic side.
Right.
And
yeah, the JFK, I mean, there's so much going on. So much fucking going on with that, especially like the involvement of Mossad. I mean, he talked about secret societies, he talked about all this other stuff that was going on at that,
crime syndicates.
I mean, there's a picture, I forgot what documentary it was, of the famous picture of Lyndon B. Johnson signing into office on the plane while, Mrs. Kennedy, Jackie Onassis, is like in shock, like with the brain on her and stuff. There was another photo from that same shooting. I forgot what documentary it was, and they show it. And there's another photo that's after that, where there's a guy behind him giving him a wink, and he's smiling back at the guy. It's like, dude, right there, it tells you
in the book.
What is behind this shit?
In the book, there's a quote that he said I'm going to paraphrase it. It was to a reporter. They had said to him, oh, you're the VP. You're pretty much sidelined. Didn't you want to run for president or something? And he says something to the effect of, like, 1/3 of American presidents have died in office, and I'm a gambling man.
Mm-hmm. Like
that right there is like, you're admitting.
And everyone knew. Nixon was in Dallas that day. He said after Frost Nixon, that interview that he did, and after he had already resigned from office, he said they asked him about all the JFK murders, and he says, "Well, everyone knows that Liddy didn't like to be second." That's 1975, dude.
Yeah.
That's like.
And there are so many people he pissed off because he was going to continue he was going to pretty much push kind of a New Deal perspective.
Right.
So he wanted to get rid of the tax loopholes for the oil companies.
Mm-hmm.
Texas being an oil state, right?
Yeah.
So the Rockefellers are pissed with him.
Yeah.
The Rockefeller brothers hated FDR. The Rockefeller brothers did not like JFK. The Rockefeller brothers actually were pretty good friends with the Dulles brothers.
All right.
And the book gives you this perspective of like, holy shit, so there's rich guys. And by the way, the Council on Foreign Relations, which everyone always makes reference to,
right?
They don't talk about who one of the first presidents of the Council on Foreign Relations was. It was Allen Dulles. So the devil's chessboard gives you this very like you see the trail of these guys, and it's right there in our faces. But I think there's a portion of us who rather think of it as a conspiracy. We want to avoid corporations being the bad guy, even though every 80s movie always told us that. Right? And we want to think that we can just change things a little bit and still keep the nice stuff that we want, as opposed to realizing we're either going to have to change all of it or all of it's going to change.
Yeah.
There's no halfsies on this.
And if you weren't paranoid enough, we got this. Here we go. You turn up the volume.
Your AirPods, your smartwatch, every Bluetooth signal sitting in that car with you. That exact combination is unique to you. Nothing travels alone. Every device that moves with you gets pulled into the web, your phone, your partners, and the kids. One household, one file, watched as one. Now you know why they need all those data centers, tracking and analyzing this much data for every single American. This isn't a small side project. There's a few 100 million people searched all day, every day. All of it straight into government data sharing, and in most cases, no warrant required. It's a live feed, running 24/7 every time you drive past. Plate cameras were just the beginning. The real target now is you, your devices, your patterns. And because this reads device signals, it doesn't need a road, malls, parking lots, sidewalks, anywhere they put the sensor. It already knows your car. Now it's built to know you. And you never had an opinion? Follow 4 episode 2, Who Can Access This Data?
It's like Black Mirror.
I'm gonna break some things down for you. 1, they can't collect the data. 2, you need to store the data. 3, then you need to data mine it. So you have to know what you're looking for.
Right.
Sure, if anyone who's ever done fucking video editing in high school or has done, you got all this shit.
Listen, this is what they want to do. It's like this is why they need the data centers. They're not able to do it yet.
And here's the other big problem. Copper. Copper and transformers. The transformers which regulates the electricity isn't just for our grid. It's actually even for the data centers. There's a 7-year to a 9-year backlog. So the other problem then, so they're running 2 things because they're stupid. Had they really wanted to do this and they planned it correctly, and I'm sure somebody must have told them, this is what you got to do first.
All right.
Their fuck up is our blessing. They should have fixed the grid back in 2003. That's
when it crashed. Yeah, instead of patching it.
They're like, all right, if we want this, we're gonna have to do this. But instead, the $7 trillion that they should have put in that, they started to put in AI. So they started to basically build the cart and starve the horse.
Right. They're stupid.
So, yes, all that is true, but there are things. And now the other problem I don't think they anticipated is that China would have 90 or more percent of rare earths and rare earth refinement. Because you can get all the rare earths are not rare. They're everywhere.
Right.
To refine it, China has the equipment, they have the monopoly on the equipment, and they have the monopoly on the actual refinement of it. For us to do it, will take another 10 or 15 years to figure it out.
Exactly, yeah.
But they're racing against the AI bubble. And if that pops, and this is why I think they're just bullshitting us even more because they don't want it to pop. But if that pops, AI is kind of toast.
And the thing is, too, is that China has been doing this already since before 2020. They, during the lockdown over there, you had to scan in. I mean, first after when people were allowed to back on the streets, anywhere you went, you had to scan in You had to scan in and out of your building. You had to scan in your apartment. You had to scan in the store. You had to scan in your products. They saw everything. They have a massive apparatus because they've been doing this since I would say the early 2000s. You know, they already had stuff like this in place. It would take us at least 30 years to get to the level where they were at 20 years ago.
We can't even do their high speed.
I know. They're rail.
A train.
I know.
So I think it's a case of rich kids reading comic books.
Right.
And they haven't invested in our society.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the problem with a technological society being an oppressive society that are usually in those utopian movies.
And they want to keep us. They want to keep us dumb on top of it. So how can you build this thing if everyone's dumb?
Exactly. That is the problem with the technological empire. You need a certain level of population of people who are smart enough to be able to fix it and create it. And if you do, it's going to be hard to control those people.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Exactly. Which is why China's having issues with that too. They have all these intellectual people. It's mandatory military service. Everyone is military trained.
And
then,
you know what? But it goes back to Mao. Mm-hmm. With Mao, they were like they were fed up with their system too.
Yep.
So, it's not beyond them to have they had a revolution. Right. We haven't had a people's revolution. I mean, if you see some of the social media stuff of Chinese people looking at the shit that we put up with,
right?
They're like, "How are you guys not having a revolution?"
Yeah. I mean,
that's hilarious, given that we're like, oh, they're oppressed and all this.
You're gonna have the French sponsoring Yellow Jackets things over here eventually. They're like, we feel bad for you guys.
yeah, and it's just like,
we're gonna send you some jackets. We're gonna mail you some yellow jackets so you can start your first protest.
But it's interesting because we kind of look at them. They're not docile people, man.
I just spilled some chips on the floor. That's why I'm
like docile people. I remember this is going back about 20 years. I was reading an article. It was someplace in China where these two cops had viciously raped this little girl.
Mm-hmm.
The day of the trial arrives. The cops are taking these two cops who are now under arrest, out of the courthouse, and they're putting them into the car. And the picture is thousands of people are around there, furious. Eventually, they got to their asses. It didn't go very good for those cops.
They got like a lynch mob, right?
Oh, yeah. Because everybody knew who they were, right? And I'm sitting here thinking when I would say, oh, they're so... I'm like, Chinese people are not docile, dude. They're not docile people.
Yeah.
We've been given that image of that, which is actually the thing Bruce Lee was trying to fight against.
Right.
That image. So, but I think it's funny when they're telling us, and it's hilarious because they're saying, how do you guys have all those guns and you haven't rebelled? Like, what's wrong with you?
Right, exactly.
What do you mean you don't have health care?
Well, they're trying to put it in the movies. You have all these apocalyptic movies coming out now about America failing, and like there's a ton of movies, You had the Civil War movie a few years ago.
Yeah.
And
which I thought was highly irresponsible.
Yeah. And then now you have another one coming out in a few weeks. I don't remember the name of it, but you have all these movies coming out I just saw a trailer. I don't remember the name of it. There's another movie that's just like that coming out. There's been 4 movies in 2 years about this shit.
Yeah.
The Trump's last administration, the ending of Trump's administration, all the way till now. It's like they really want. Now you have this white supremacy bullshit, and those motherfuckers got all the guns. That's why I keep telling Democrats, shut the fuck up about gun control. Get a gun.
But here's my it's always been my concern.
And
I know this because my grandfather fought in the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
If it was to go full out today, it would not be like the 1860s. We're not talking just that.
No.
You're talking air power.
Yeah. It'd be bombs.
And I would
be like Gaza.
Yeah. And here's the thing. a lot of us talk a lot of shit, but when you don't have running water or electricity, your family's in rubble, most likely dead or dying. You're injured, but you can't get to a hospital, most likely getting infected with some
Right.
shit. That's not fun times. That's not Hollywood shit. That's not the kind of shit you want to go through.
Nope.
You know. So I
Trying to
think it's
promote it like, oh, we have our own farm and we have our own territory. It's like, no, dude, that's not.
and I remember once on Facebook I brought up the thing about the Air Force, and someone said to me, because it would be the Air Force, it would be the U.S. military clamping down. They're like, well, some of they wouldn't take the orders. I'm like, are you sure about that?
Right, they would.
Are you really sure that some of them wouldn't take the orders?
Exactly.
And if they don't take the orders, then we split. And that's a real civil war where you have dogfights, tanks shooting on tanks. Like,
Yeah,
this is not what we want.
it's not gonna be cute.
No, it's not going to be cute. And I think it's a very irresponsible idea. And it was some British director who came up with it. I didn't watch it because I figured it'd be completely unrealistic as to the full damage of it. And it wouldn't even be ideological at a point.
Right, exactly.
You know, it'd just be fucking chaos.
You're a fucking chaos.
No, that's not what you want. No one wants that. You know, and I think the other problem is that our country hasn't lived through something like that in a long time, and certainly not the modern version of it.
Right. And who controls Hollywood? And why are they putting that under our mind? Why are they putting that into our schema of our mind? Is because it's almost like they're trying to prepare you for something that they're going to thrust us into, you know?
Yeah.
This little state of New Jersey fucking
it could be that
entity is going to create a false flag where we're pushed into that.
It could be that, but I think the biggest form of control in America is fear. Fear of it.
Yeah, of course.
So they've been using things like, so for example, the fear of AI.
Mhm.
Oh, it's going to take your jobs. Guess what? Every fucking company that went full AI is now losing money and having to hire people back. So they wasted their complete money on getting all these people.
Yeah.
I heard that
they're probably realizing that AI, everything they put in a prompt, it doesn't do exactly what it wants. Like, God damn it, it's been 3 hours.
Well, yeah. And there's the other issues. Yeah, it's like you can't do that.
It's like,
and I heard
what
that
you want it to do. People think that it's that easy, and it's not. You know,
it's not. And they were also saying that some AI companies are actually cutting the voice down to almost like a caveman talk because it actually saves money if it doesn't sound smooth. So it's not cost effective.
Right.
But it scared us into thinking we're going to end up with Terminator.
Right.
Frankly, if these things were
as the T-800, remember
T-800,
and it took
frankly, if we were going to have competing AIs and they were conscious, we might end up with the Decepticons and the Autobots, not Terminator, the Terminator movie where they're all getting along and be like, "Fuck you, I'm Apple. Fuck you, I'm Microsoft." Right? Like, it's like gang warfare.
Yeah, robot variety wars, right? The robot wars, the American robot wars, right?
Right. It's like it's all branding.
Yes,
like,
everyone's fighting for Amazon. You got like Amazon army versus the Facebook army, and
yeah,
I think we had a movie idea right there.
Right there, we got it, man.
Yeah, we got a movie idea.
And yeah, years ago I had a joke about that it would be like the Apple versus Microsoft.
Right.
And it grows into the Autobots and the Decepticons, but they have us so scared of everything. Fertility rates are falling. You know, there's something wrong with your balls. You know, like you can't have enough kids.
Notice all the medical commercials on fucking the internet, on social media now. It's been taken over with supplements and shit.
Yeah, it's all fear, and they control us through it.
Yeah.
The reason people aren't having more kids is they can't afford it. Young people can't afford houses. They can't afford kids. They can barely afford to pay for the video games. They have to subscribe to them.
Right.
You know.
They can't even. Sorry, they can't even own them.
You can't even own them.
Yeah. Oh my God, we're 8 minutes over 2. Let's wrap this up. Because we'll be here for another hour easily.
Do the Fidel.
Yes.
4-hour speech. I
Right.
can see how you could do that. I used to go like, how could you do that? But after a while, you kind of realize it's not that impossible.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was always good talking to you, Miguel. Next week.
Likewise.
This was episode 40 on the 250th anniversary of America, or as we like to say, America.
I heard someone say, Professor Gerald Warren say, the farce of you lie.
Farce of you lie.
The farce of you lie.
Oh God.
Toma.
All right, we're out of here, kids. Take care.
The apocalypse is coming. Are you scared? Are you prepared? The masses are running, frantically running from their fears, running with their tears, running from their lives, running from that dark shadowed creature that hides deep inside.
Oh man.
You're still online. Hold on. I was like, where's the button? There.
For another hour. Yeah.